Leviticus chapters 1 to 27. Chapter 1. The Burnt Offering. 1. And the Lord called unto Moses, and spoke unto him out of the tabernacle of meeting, saying, 2. Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, If any man of you brings an offering unto the Lord, you shall bring your offering of the cattle, even of the herd, and of the flock. 3. If his offering be a burnt sacrifice of the herd, let him offer a male without blemish. He shall offer it of his own voluntary will at the door of the tabernacle of meeting before the Lord. 4. And he shall put his hand upon the head of the burnt offering, and it shall be accepted for him to make atonement for him. 5. And he shall kill the bullock before the Lord, and the priests, Aaron's sons, shall bring the blood, and sprinkle the blood round about upon the altar that is by the door of the tabernacle of meeting. 6. And he shall flay the burnt offering, and cut it into its pieces. 7. And the sons of Aaron the priest shall put fire upon the altar, and lay the wood in order upon the fire. 8. And the priests, Aaron's sons, shall lay the parts, the head, and the fat, in order upon the wood that is on the fire which is upon the altar. 9. But its entrails and its legs shall he wash in water, and the priest shall burn all on the altar, to be a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire, of a sweet aroma unto the Lord. 10. And if his offering be of the flocks, namely, of the sheep, or of the goats, for a burnt sacrifice, he shall bring a male without blemish. 11. And he shall kill it on the north side of the altar before the Lord, and the priests, Aaron's sons, shall sprinkle its blood round about upon the altar. 12. And he shall cut it into its pieces, with its head and its fat, and the priest shall lay them in order on the wood that is on the fire which is upon the altar. 13. But he shall wash the entrails and the legs with water, and the priest shall bring it all, and burn it upon the altar. It is a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire, of a sweet aroma unto the Lord. 14. And if the burnt sacrifice for his offering to the Lord be of fowls, then he shall bring his offering of turtledoves, or of young pigeons. 15. And the priest shall bring it unto the altar, and wring off its head, and burn it on the altar, and the blood thereof shall be wrung out at the side of the altar. 16. And he shall pluck away its crop with its feathers, and cast it beside the altar on the east side, by the place of the ashes. 17. And he shall split it with the wings, but shall not divide it asunder, and the priest shall burn it upon the altar, upon the wood that is upon the fire. It is a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire, of a sweet aroma unto the Lord. Chapter 2. The Meat Offering. 1. And when any will offer a grain offering unto the Lord, his offering shall be of fine flour, and he shall pour oil upon it, and put frankincense thereon. 2. And he shall bring it to Aaron's sons the priests. And he shall take out a handful of the flour, and of the oil, with all the frankincense, and the priest shall burn it as a memorial upon the altar, to be an offering made by fire, of a sweet aroma unto the Lord. 3. And the remnant of the grain offering shall be Aaron's and his sons. It is a thing most holy of the offerings of the Lord made by fire. 4. And if you bring an offering of a grain offering baked in the oven, it shall be unleavened cakes of fine flour mixed with oil, or unleavened wafers anointed with oil. 5. And if your offering be a grain offering baked in a pan, it shall be of fine flour unleavened, mixed with oil. 6. You shall break it in pieces, and pour oil thereon. It is a grain offering. 7. And if your offering be a grain offering baked in the frying pan, it shall be made of fine flour with oil. 8. And you shall bring the grain offering that is made of these things unto the Lord, and when it is presented unto the priest, he shall bring it unto the altar. 9. And the priest shall take from the grain offering a memorial portion, and shall burn it upon the altar. It is an offering made by fire, of a sweet aroma unto the Lord. 10. And that which is left of the grain offering shall be Aaron's and his sons. It is a thing most holy of the offerings of the Lord made by fire. 11. No grain offering, which you shall bring unto the Lord, shall be made with leaven, for you shall burn no leaven, nor any honey, in any offering of the Lord made by fire. 12. As for the offering of the first fruits, you shall offer them unto the Lord, but they shall not be burned on the altar for a sweet aroma. 13. And every offering of your grain offering shall you season with salt, Neither shall you allow the salt of the covenant of your God to be lacking from your grain offering. With all your offerings you shall offer salt. 14 And if you offer a grain offering of your firstfruits unto the Lord, you shall offer for the grain offering of your firstfruits green ears of grain dried by the fire, even grain beaten out of full ears. 15 And you shall put oil upon it, and lay frankincense thereon. It is a grain offering. 16 And the priest shall burn as the memorial portion, part of the beaten grain, and part of the oil, with all the frankincense. It is an offering made by fire unto the Lord. Chapter 3. The Peace Offering. 1 And if his offering be a sacrifice of a peace offering, if he offer it of the herd, whether it be a male or female, he shall offer it without blemish before the Lord. 2 And he shall lay his hand upon the head of his offering, and kill it at the door of the tabernacle of meeting, and Aaron's sons the priests shall sprinkle the blood upon the altar round about. 3 And he shall offer of the sacrifice of the peace offering an offering made by fire unto the Lord, the fat that covers the entrails, and all the fat that is upon the entrails, 4 And the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is on them, which is by the flanks, and the fat above the liver, with the kidneys, it shall he take away. 5 And Aaron's sons shall burn it on the altar upon the burnt sacrifice, which is upon the wood that is on the fire. It is an offering made by fire, of a sweet aroma unto the Lord. 6 And if his offering for a sacrifice of peace offering unto the Lord be of the flock, male or female, he shall offer it without blemish. 7 If he offers a lamb for his offering, then shall he offer it before the Lord. 8 And he shall lay his hand upon the head of his offering, and kill it before the tabernacle of meeting, and Aaron's sons shall sprinkle the blood thereof round about upon the altar. 9 And he shall offer of the sacrifice of the peace offering an offering made by fire unto the Lord, the fat, and the whole fat tail, it shall he take off close to the backbone, and the fat that covers the entrails, and all the fat that is upon the entrails, 10 And the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is by the flanks, and the fat above the liver, with the kidneys, it shall he take away. 11 And the priest shall burn it upon the altar. It is the food of the offering made by fire unto the Lord. 12 And if his offering be a goat, then he shall offer it before the Lord. 13 And he shall lay his hand upon the head of it, and kill it before the tabernacle of meeting, and the sons of Aaron shall sprinkle the blood thereof upon the altar round about. 14 And he shall offer his offering, even an offering made by fire unto the Lord, the fat that covers the entrails, and all the fat that is upon the entrails, 15 And the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is by the flanks, and the fat above the liver, with the kidneys, it shall he take away. 16 And the priest shall burn them upon the altar. It is the food of the offering made by fire for a sweet aroma, all the fat is the Lord's. 17 It shall be a perpetual statute for your generations throughout all your dwellings, that you eat neither fat nor blood. Chapter 4. The Sin Offering. 1 And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, To speak unto the children of Israel, saying, If a soul shall sin through ignorance against any of the commandments of the Lord concerning things which ought not to be done, and shall act against any one of them, 3 If the priest that is anointed sins according to the sin of the people, then let him bring for his sin, which he has sinned, a young bullock without blemish unto the Lord for a sin offering. 4 And he shall bring the bullock unto the door of the tabernacle of meeting before the Lord, and shall lay his hand upon the bullock's head, and kill the bullock before the Lord. 5 And the priest that is anointed shall take of the bullock's blood, and bring it to the tabernacle of meeting. 6 And the priest shall dip his finger in the blood, and sprinkle some of the blood 7 times before the Lord, before the veil of the sanctuary. 7 And the priest shall put some of the blood upon the horns of the altar of sweet incense before the Lord, which is in the tabernacle of meeting, and shall pour the rest of the blood of the bullock at the bottom of the altar of the burnt offering, which is at the door of the tabernacle of meeting. 8 And he shall take off from it all the fat of the bullock for the sin offering, the fat that covers the entrails, and all the fat that is upon the entrails, 9 And the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is by the flanks, and the fat above the liver, with the kidneys, it shall he take away, 10 As it was taken off from the bullock of the sacrifice of peace offerings, and the priest shall burn them upon the altar of the burnt offering. 11 And the skin of the bullock, and all its flesh, with its head, and with its legs, and its entrails, and its dung. 12 Even the whole bullock shall he carry forth outside the camp unto a clean place, where the ashes are poured out, and burn it on the wood with fire. Where the ashes are poured out shall it be burned. 13 And if the whole congregation of Israel sins through ignorance, and the thing be hid from the eyes of the assembly, and they have done somewhat against any of the commandments of the Lord concerning things which should not be done, and are guilty. 14 When the sin, which they have sinned, is known, then the congregation shall offer a young bullock for the sin, and bring it before the tabernacle of meeting. 15 And the elders of the congregation shall lay their hands upon the head of the bullock before the Lord, and the bullock shall be killed before the Lord. 16 And the priest that is anointed shall bring some of the bullock's blood to the tabernacle of meeting. 17 And the priest shall dip his finger in the blood, and sprinkle it 7 times before the Lord, even before the veil. 18 And he shall put some of the blood upon the horns of the altar which is before the Lord, that is in the tabernacle of meeting, and shall pour out the rest of the blood at the bottom of the altar of the burnt offering, which is at the door of the tabernacle of meeting. 19 And he shall take all its fat from it, and burn it upon the altar. 20 And he shall do with the bullock as he did with the bullock for a sin offering, so shall he do with this, and the priest shall make an atonement for them, and it shall be forgiven them. 21 And he shall carry forth the bullock outside the camp, and burn it as he burned the first bullock. It is a sin offering for the congregation. 22 When a ruler has sinned, and done something through ignorance against any of the commandments of the Lord his God concerning things which should not be done, and is guilty. 23 Or if his sin, which he has sinned, comes to his knowledge, he shall bring his offering, a kid of the goats, a male without blemish. 24 And he shall lay his hand upon the head of the goat, and kill it in the place where they kill the burnt offering before the Lord. It is a sin offering. 25 And the priest shall take some of the blood of the sin offering with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offering, and shall pour out its blood at the bottom of the altar of burnt offering. 26 And he shall burn all its fat upon the altar, as the fat of the sacrifice of peace offerings, and the priest shall make an atonement for him as concerning his sin, and it shall be forgiven him. 27 And if any one of the common people sin through ignorance, while he does something against any of the commandments of the Lord concerning things which ought not to be done, and be guilty. 28 Or if his sin, which he has sinned, comes to his knowledge, then he shall bring his offering, a kid of the goats, a female without blemish, for his sin which he has sinned. 29 And he shall lay his hand upon the head of the sin offering, and slay the sin offering in the place of the burnt offering. 30 And the priest shall take some of the blood with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offering, and shall pour out the rest of the blood at the bottom of the altar. 31 And he shall take away all its fat, as the fat is taken away from off the sacrifice of peace offerings, and the priest shall burn it upon the altar for a sweet aroma unto the Lord, and the priest shall make an atonement for him, and it shall be forgiven him. 32 And if he brings a lamb for a sin offering, he shall bring it a female without blemish. 33 And he shall lay his hand upon the head of the sin offering, and slay it for a sin offering in the place where they kill the burnt offering. 34 And the priest shall take some of the blood of the sin offering with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offering, and shall pour out the rest of the blood at the bottom of the altar. 35 And he shall take away all its fat, as the fat of the lamb is taken away from the sacrifice of the peace offerings, and the priest shall burn them upon the altar, according to the offerings made by fire unto the Lord, and the priest shall make an atonement for his sin that he has committed. And it shall be forgiven him. Chapter 5. 1 And if a soul sins, and hears the voice of an oath, and is a witness, whether he has seen or known of it, if he does not tell of it, then he shall bear his iniquity. 2 Or if a soul touch any unclean thing, whether it be a carcass of an unclean animal, or a carcass of unclean cattle, or the carcass of unclean creeping things, and it is hidden from him, he also shall be unclean, and guilty. 3 Or if he touch the uncleanness of man, whatsoever uncleanness it be that a man shall be defiled with, and it be hid from him, when he knows of it, then he shall be guilty. 4 Or if a soul vows, pronouncing with his lips to do evil, or to do good, whatsoever it be that a man shall pronounce with an oath, and it be hid from him, when he knows of it, then he shall be guilty in one of these. 5 And it shall be, when he shall be guilty in one of these things, that he shall confess that he has sinned in that thing. 6 And he shall bring his trespass offering unto the Lord for his sin which he has sinned, a female from the flock, a lamb or a kid of the goats, for a sin offering, and the priest shall make an atonement for him concerning his sin. 7 And if he is not able to bring a lamb, then he shall bring for his trespass, which he has committed, 2 turtledoves, or 2 young pigeons, unto the Lord, one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering. 8 And he shall bring them unto the priest, who shall offer that which is for the sin offering first, and wring off its head from its neck, but shall not divide it asunder. 9 And he shall sprinkle some of the blood of the sin offering upon the side of the altar, and the rest of the blood shall be wrung out at the bottom of the altar. It is a sin offering. 10 And he shall offer the second for a burnt offering, according to the ordinance, and the priest shall make an atonement for him for his sin which he has sinned, and it shall be forgiven him. 11 But if he is not able to bring 2 turtledoves, or 2 young pigeons, then he that sinned shall bring for his offering the 10th part of an ephah of fine flour for a sin offering. He shall put no oil upon it, neither shall he put any frankincense thereon, for it is a sin offering. 12 Then shall he bring it to the priest, and the priest shall take his handful of it, even a memorial portion, and burn it on the altar, according to the offerings made by fire unto the Lord. It is a sin offering. 13 And the priest shall make an atonement for him concerning his sin that he has sinned in one of these, and it shall be forgiven him, and the remnant shall be the priest's, as a grain offering. The trespass offering. 14 And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, 15 If a soul commits a trespass, and sins through ignorance, in the holy things of the Lord, then he shall bring for his trespass unto the Lord a ram without blemish out of the flocks, with your valuation by shekels of silver, after the shekel of the sanctuary, for a trespass offering. 16 And he shall make amends for the harm that he has done in the holy thing, and shall add the 5th part thereto, and give it unto the priest, and the priest shall make an atonement for him with the ram of the trespass offering. And it shall be forgiven him. 17 And if a soul sins, and commits any of these things which are forbidden to be done by the commandments of the Lord, though he knew it not, yet is he guilty, and shall bear his iniquity. 18 And he shall bring a ram without blemish out of the flock, with your valuation, for a trespass offering, unto the priest, and the priest shall make an atonement for him concerning his ignorance wherein he erred and knew it not, and it shall be forgiven him. 19 It is a trespass offering. He has certainly trespassed against the Lord. Chapter 6 1 And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, 2 If a soul sins, and commits a trespass against the Lord, and lies unto his neighbor in that which was delivered him to keep, or in fellowship, or in a thing taken away by violence, or has deceived his neighbor, 3 Or has found that which was lost, and lies concerning it, and swears falsely, in any of all these that a man does, sinning therein. 4 Then it shall be, because he has sinned, and is guilty, that he shall restore that which he took violently away, or the thing which he has deceitfully gotten, or that which was delivered him to keep, or the lost thing which he found. 5 Or all that about which he has sworn falsely, he shall even restore it in the principal, and shall add the 5th part more thereto, and give it unto him to whom it belongs, in the day of his trespass offering. 6 And he shall bring his trespass offering unto the Lord, a ram without blemish out of the flock, with your valuation, for a trespass offering, unto the priest. 7 And the priest shall make an atonement for him before the Lord, and it shall be forgiven him for anything of all that he has done in trespassing therein. The burnt offering. 8 And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, 9 Command Aaron and his sons, saying, This is the law of the burnt offering. It is the burnt offering, because of the burning upon the altar all night unto the morning, and the fire of the altar shall be burning on it. 10 And the priest shall put on his linen garment, and his linen trousers shall he put upon his flesh, and take up the ashes which the fire has consumed with the burnt offering on the altar, and he shall put them beside the altar. 11 And he shall put off his garments, and put on other garments, and carry forth the ashes outside the camp unto a clean place. 12 And the fire upon the altar shall be burning on it, it shall not be put out. And the priest shall burn wood on it every morning, and lay the burnt offering in order upon it, and he shall burn thereon the fat of the peace offerings. 13 The fire shall ever be burning upon the altar, it shall never go out. The meat offering. 14 And this is the law of the grain offering. The sons of Aaron shall offer it before the Lord, before the altar. 15 And he shall take of it his handful, of the flour of the grain offering, and of the oil thereof, and all the frankincense which is upon the grain offering, and shall burn it upon the altar for a sweet aroma, even the memorial of it, unto the Lord. 16 And the remainder thereof shall Aaron and his sons eat. With unleavened bread shall it be eaten in the holy place, in the court of the tabernacle of meeting they shall eat it. 17 It shall not be baked with leaven. I have given it unto them for their portion of my offerings made by fire. It is most holy, as is the sin offering, and as the trespass offering. 18 All the males among the children of Aaron shall eat of it. It shall be a statute forever in your generations concerning the offerings of the Lord made by fire. Every one that touches them shall be holy. 19 And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, 20 This is the offering of Aaron and of his sons, which they shall offer unto the Lord in the day when he is anointed. The 10th part of an ephah of fine flour for a grain offering perpetually, half of it in the morning, and half of it at night. 21 In a pan it shall be made with oil, and when it is baked, you shall bring it in, and the baked pieces of the grain offering shall you offer for a sweet aroma unto the Lord. 22 And the priest of his sons that are anointed in his stead shall offer it. It is a statute forever unto the Lord, it shall be wholly burnt. 23 For every grain offering for the priest shall be wholly burnt, it shall not be eaten. The sin offering. 24 And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, 25 Speak unto Aaron and to his sons, saying, This is the law of the sin offering. In the place where the burnt offering is killed shall the sin offering be killed before the Lord. It is most holy. 26 The priest that offers it for sin shall eat it. In the holy place shall it be eaten, in the court of the tabernacle of meeting. 27 Whatsoever shall touch the flesh thereof shall be holy. And when there is sprinkled of the blood thereof upon any garment, you shall wash that on which it was sprinkled in the holy place. 28 But the earthen vessel wherein it is boiled shall be broken, and if it be boiled in a bronze pot, it shall be both scoured, and rinsed in water. 29 All the males among the priests shall eat thereof, it is most holy. 30 And no sin offering, from which any of the blood is brought into the tabernacle of meeting to make atonement in the holy place, shall be eaten, it shall be burnt in the fire. Chapter 7 The trespass offering. 1 Likewise this is the law of the trespass offering, it is most holy. 2 In the place where they kill the burnt offering shall they kill the trespass offering, and the blood thereof shall he sprinkle round about upon the altar. 3 And he shall offer of it all the fat thereof, the fat tail, and the fat that covers the entrails, 4 And the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is on them, which is by the flanks, and the fat that is above the liver, with the kidneys, it shall he take away. 5 And the priest shall burn them upon the altar for an offering made by fire unto the Lord. It is a trespass offering. 6 Every male among the priests shall eat thereof. It shall be eaten in the holy place, it is most holy. 7 As the sin offering is, so is the trespass offering. There is one law for them. The priest that makes atonement with it shall have it. 8 And the priest that offers any man's burnt offering, even the priest shall have to himself the skin of the burnt offering which he has offered. 9 And all the grain offering that is baked in the oven, and all that is prepared in the frying pan, and in the pan, shall be the priest's that offers it. 10 And every grain offering, mixed with oil, and dry, shall all the sons of Aaron have, one as much as another. The peace offering. 11 And this is the law of the sacrifice of peace offerings, which he shall offer unto the Lord. 12 If he offers it for a thanksgiving, then he shall offer with the sacrifice of thanksgiving unleavened cakes mixed with oil, and unleavened wafers anointed with oil, and cakes mixed with oil, of fine flour, fried. 13 Besides the cakes, he shall offer for his offering leavened bread with the sacrifice of thanksgiving of his peace offerings. 14 And of it he shall offer one out of the whole offering for a heave offering unto the Lord, and it shall be the priest's that sprinkles the blood of the peace offerings. 15 And the flesh of the sacrifice of his peace offerings for thanksgiving shall be eaten the same day that it is offered, he shall not leave any of it until the morning. 16 But if the sacrifice of his offering be a vow, or a voluntary offering, it shall be eaten the same day that he offers his sacrifice, and the next day also the remainder of it shall be eaten. 17 But the remainder of the flesh of the sacrifice on the third day shall be burnt with fire. 18 And if any of the flesh of the sacrifice of his peace offerings be eaten at all on the third day, it shall not be accepted, neither shall it be imputed unto him that offers it. It shall be an abomination, and the soul that eats of it shall bear his iniquity. 19 And the flesh that touches any unclean thing shall not be eaten, it shall be burnt with fire, and as for the flesh, all that be clean shall eat thereof. 20 But the soul that eats of the flesh of the sacrifice of peace offerings, that pertain unto the Lord, having his uncleanness upon him, even that soul shall be cut off from his people. 21 Moreover the soul that shall touch any unclean thing, as the uncleanness of man, or any unclean animal, or any abominable unclean thing, and eat of the flesh of the sacrifice of peace offerings, which pertain unto the Lord, even that soul shall be cut off from his people. 22 And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, 23 Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, You shall eat no manner of fat, of ox, or of sheep, or of goat. 24 And the fat of the animal that dies of itself, and the fat of that which is torn with animals, may be used in any other use, but you shall in no wise eat of it. 25 For whosoever eats the fat of the animal, of which men offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord, even the soul that eats it shall be cut off from his people. 26 Moreover you shall eat no manner of blood, whether it be of fowl or of animal, in any of your dwellings. 27 Whatsoever soul it be that eats any manner of blood, even that soul shall be cut off from his people. 28 And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, 29 Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, He that offers the sacrifice of his peace offerings unto the Lord shall bring his offering unto the Lord of the sacrifice of his peace offerings. 30 His own hands shall bring the offerings of the Lord made by fire, the fat with the breast, it shall he bring, that the breast may be waved for a wave offering before the Lord. 31 And the priest shall burn the fat upon the altar, but the breast shall be Aaron's and his sons'. 32 And the right shoulder shall you give unto the priest for a heave offering of the sacrifices of your peace offerings. 33 He among the sons of Aaron, that offers the blood of the peace offerings, and the fat, shall have the right shoulder for his part. 34 For the wave breast and the heave shoulder have I taken of the children of Israel from off the sacrifices of their peace offerings, and have given them unto Aaron the priest and unto his sons by a statute forever from among the children of Israel. 35 This is the portion of the anointing of Aaron, and of the anointing of his sons, out of the offerings of the Lord made by fire, in the day when he presented them to minister unto the Lord in the priest's office. 36 Which the Lord commanded to be given them of the children of Israel, in the day that he anointed them, by a statute forever throughout their generations. The summary of the offerings. 37 This is the law of the burnt offering, of the grain offering, and of the sin offering, and of the trespass offering, and of the consecrations, and of the sacrifice of the peace offerings. 38 Which the Lord commanded Moses in Mount Sinai, in the day that he commanded the children of Israel to offer their offerings unto the Lord, in the wilderness of Sinai. Chapter 8. Consecration commanded by God. 1 And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, 2 Take Aaron and his sons with him, and the garments, and the anointing oil, and a bullock for the sin offering, and 2 rams, and a basket of unleavened bread. 3 And gather you all the congregation together unto the door of the tabernacle of meeting. 4 And Moses did as the Lord commanded him, and the assembly was gathered together unto the door of the tabernacle of meeting. 5 And Moses said unto the congregation, This is the thing which the Lord commanded to be done. Cleansing the priests with water. 6 And Moses brought Aaron and his sons, and washed them with water. The priest's garments. 7 And he put upon him the coat, and girded him with the belt, and clothed him with the robe, and put the ephod upon him, and he girded him with the skillfully woven band of the ephod, and bound it on him. 8 And he put the breastplate upon him, also he put in the breastplate the Urim and the Thummim. 9 And he put the turban upon his head, also upon the turban, even upon its front, did he put the golden plate, the holy crown, as the Lord commanded Moses. Anointing with oil. 10 And Moses took the anointing oil, and anointed the tabernacle and all that was therein, and sanctified them. 11 And he sprinkled it upon the altar 7 times, and anointed the altar and all its vessels, both the laver and its base, to sanctify them. 12 And he poured of the anointing oil upon Aaron's head, and anointed him, to sanctify him. 13 And Moses brought Aaron's sons, and put coats upon them, and girded them with belts, and put caps upon them, as the Lord commanded Moses. Consecrating with blood. 14 And he brought the bullock for the sin offering, and Aaron and his sons laid their hands upon the head of the bullock for the sin offering. 15 And he slew it, and Moses took the blood, and put it upon the horns of the altar round about with his finger, and purified the altar, and poured the blood at the bottom of the altar, and sanctified it, to make atonement for it. 16 And he took all the fat that was upon the entrails, and the fat above the liver, and the 2 kidneys, and their fat, and Moses burned it upon the altar. 17 But the bullock, and its hide, its flesh, and its dung, he burned with fire outside the camp, as the Lord commanded Moses. 18 And he brought the ram for the burnt offering, and Aaron and his sons laid their hands upon the head of the ram. 19 And he killed it, and Moses sprinkled the blood upon the altar round about. 20 And he cut the ram into pieces, and Moses burned the head, and the pieces, and the fat. 21 And he washed the entrails and the legs in water, and Moses burned the whole ram upon the altar. It was a burnt sacrifice for a sweet aroma, and an offering made by fire unto the Lord, as the Lord commanded Moses. 22 And he brought the other ram, the ram of consecration, and Aaron and his sons laid their hands upon the head of the ram. 23 And he slew it, and Moses took of the blood of it, and put it upon the tip of Aaron's right ear, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot. 24 And he brought Aaron's sons, and Moses put some of the blood upon the tip of their right ears, and upon the thumbs of their right hands, and upon the great toes of their right feet, and Moses sprinkled the blood upon the altar round about. 25 And he took the fat, and the fat tail, and all the fat that was upon the entrails, and the fat above the liver, and the 2 kidneys, and their fat, and the right shoulder. 26 And out of the basket of unleavened bread, that was before the Lord, he took 1 unleavened cake, and a cake of oiled bread, and 1 wafer, and put them on the fat, and upon the right shoulder. 27 And he put all upon Aaron's hands, and upon his sons' hands, and waved them for a wave offering before the Lord. 28 And Moses took them from off their hands, and burned them on the altar upon the burnt offering. They were consecrations for a sweet aroma. It is an offering made by fire unto the Lord. 29 And Moses took the breast, and waved it for a wave offering before the Lord. For of the ram of consecration it was Moses's part, as the Lord commanded Moses. 30 And Moses took of the anointing oil, and of the blood which was upon the altar, and sprinkled it upon Aaron, and upon his garments, and upon his sons, and upon his sons' garments with him, and sanctified Aaron, and his garments, and his sons' garments with him. The priests remain in the tabernacle. 31 And Moses said unto Aaron and to his sons, Boil the flesh at the door of the tabernacle of meeting, and there eat it with the bread that is in the basket of consecrations, as I commanded, saying, Aaron and his sons shall eat it. 32 And that which remains of the flesh and of the bread shall you burn with fire. 33 And you shall not go out of the door of the tabernacle of meeting in 7 days, until the days of your consecration be at an end, for 7 days shall he consecrate you. 34 As he has done this day, so the Lord has commanded to do, to make an atonement for you. 35 Therefore shall you abide at the door of the tabernacle of meeting day and night 7 days, and keep the charge of the Lord, that you die not, for so I am commanded. 36 So Aaron and his sons did all things which the Lord commanded by the hand of Moses. Chapter 9. Offerings for the priest. 1 And it came to pass on the 8th day, that Moses called Aaron and his sons, and the elders of Israel. 2 And he said unto Aaron, Take you a young calf for a sin offering, and a ram for a burnt offering, without blemish, and offer them before the Lord. 3 And unto the children of Israel you shall speak, saying, Take you a kid of the goats for a sin offering, and a calf and a lamb, both of the first year, without blemish, for a burnt offering, 4 Also a bullock and a ram for peace offerings, to sacrifice before the Lord, and a grain offering mixed with oil, for today the Lord will appear unto you. 5 And they brought that which Moses commanded before the tabernacle of meeting, and all the congregation drew near and stood before the Lord. 6 And Moses said, This is the thing which the Lord commanded that you should do, and the glory of the Lord shall appear unto you. 7 And Moses said unto Aaron, Go unto the altar, and offer your sin offering, and your burnt offering, and make an atonement for yourself, and for the people, and offer the offering of the people, and make an atonement for them, as the Lord commanded. 8 Aaron therefore went unto the altar, and slew the calf of the sin offering, which was for himself. 9 And the sons of Aaron brought the blood unto him, and he dipped his finger in the blood, and put it upon the horns of the altar, and poured out the blood at the bottom of the altar. 10 But the fat, and the kidneys, and the fat above the liver of the sin offering, he burned upon the altar, as the Lord commanded Moses. 11 And the flesh and the hide he burned with fire outside the camp. 12 And he slew the burnt offering, and Aaron's sons presented unto him the blood, which he sprinkled round about upon the altar. 13 And they presented the burnt offering unto him, with the pieces thereof, and the head, and he burned them upon the altar. 14 And he did wash the entrails and the legs, and burned them upon the burnt offering on the altar. Offerings for the people. 15 And he brought the people's offering, and took the goat, which was the sin offering for the people, and slew it, and offered it for sin, as the first. 16 And he brought the burnt offering, and offered it according to the ordinance. 17 And he brought the grain offering, and took a handful thereof, and burned it upon the altar, beside the burnt sacrifice of the morning. 18 He slew also the bullock and the ram for a sacrifice of peace offerings, which was for the people, and Aaron's sons presented unto him the blood, which he sprinkled upon the altar round about. 19 And the fat of the bullock and of the ram, the fat tail, and that which covers the entrails, and the kidneys, and the fat above the liver. 20 And they put the fat upon the breasts, and he burned the fat upon the altar. 21 And the breasts and the right shoulder Aaron waved for a wave offering before the Lord, as Moses commanded. The Lord accepts the offering. 22 And Aaron lifted up his hand toward the people, and blessed them, and came down from offering of the sin offering, and the burnt offering, and peace offerings. 23 And Moses and Aaron went into the tabernacle of meeting, and came out, and blessed the people, and the glory of the Lord appeared unto all the people. 24 And there came a fire out from before the Lord, and consumed upon the altar the burnt offering and the fat, which when all the people saw, they shouted, and fell on their faces. Chapter 10. The sin of Nadab and Abihu. 1 And Nadab and Abihu, the sons of Aaron, took each of them his censer, and put fire in it, and put incense thereon, and offered unholy fire before the Lord, which he commanded them not. 2 And there went out fire from the Lord, and devoured them, and they died before the Lord. 3 Then Moses said unto Aaron, This is it that the Lord spoke, saying, I will be sanctified in them that come near me, and before all the people I will be glorified. And Aaron held his peace. 4 And Moses called Mishael and Elzaphan, the sons of Uzziel the uncle of Aaron, and said unto them, Come near, carry your brethren from before the sanctuary out of the camp. 5 So they went near, and carried them in their coats out of the camp, as Moses had said. 6 And Moses said unto Aaron, and unto Eleazar and unto Ithamar, his sons, Uncover not your heads, neither rend your clothes, lest you die, and lest wrath come upon all the people. But let your brethren, the whole house of Israel, bewail the burning which the Lord has kindled. 7 And you shall not go out from the door of the tabernacle of meeting, lest you die, for the anointing oil of the Lord is upon you. And they did according to the word of Moses. 8 And the Lord spoke unto Aaron, saying, 9 Do not drink wine nor strong drink, you, nor your sons with you, when you go into the tabernacle of meeting, lest you die. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations. 10 And that you may put difference between holy and unholy, and between unclean and clean. 11 And that you may teach the children of Israel all the statutes which the Lord has spoken unto them by the hand of Moses. The sin of Eleazar and Ithamar. 12 And Moses spoke unto Aaron, and unto Eleazar and unto Ithamar, his sons that were left, Take the grain offering that remains of the offerings of the Lord made by fire, and eat it without leaven beside the altar, for it is most holy. 13 And you shall eat it in the holy place, because it is your due, and your sons' due, of the sacrifices of the Lord made by fire, for so I am commanded. 14 And the wave breast and heave shoulder shall you eat in a clean place, you, and your sons, and your daughters with you, for they are your due, and your sons' due, which are given out of the sacrifices of peace offerings of the children of Israel. 15 The heave shoulder and the wave breast shall they bring with the offerings made by fire of the fat, to wave it for a wave offering before the Lord, and it shall be yours, and your sons with you, by a statute forever, as the Lord has commanded. 16 And Moses diligently sought the goat of the sin offering, and, behold, it was burnt. And he was angry with Eleazar and Ithamar, the sons of Aaron who were left alive, saying, 17 Why have you not eaten the sin offering in the holy place, seeing it is most holy, and God has given it to you to bear the iniquity of the congregation, to make atonement for them before the Lord. 18 Behold, the blood of it was not brought in within the holy place. You should indeed have eaten it in the holy place, as I commanded. 19 And Aaron said unto Moses, Behold, this day have they offered their sin offering and their burnt offering before the Lord. And such things have befallen me. And if I had eaten the sin offering today, should it have been accepted in the sight of the Lord? 20 And when Moses heard that, he was content. Chapter 11. Animals of the earth. 1 And the Lord spoke unto Moses and to Aaron, saying unto them, To speak unto the children of Israel, saying, These are the animals which you shall eat among all the animals that are on the earth. 3 Whatsoever parts the hoof, and is cloven-footed, and chews the cud, among the animals, that shall you eat. 4 Nevertheless these shall you not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divide the hoof. As the camel, because it chews the cud, but divides not the hoof, it is unclean unto you. 5 And the rock badger, because it chews the cud, but divides not the hoof, it is unclean unto you. 6 And the hare, because it chews the cud, but divides not the hoof, it is unclean unto you. 7 And the swine, though it divides the hoof, and is cloven-footed, yet it chews not the cud, it is unclean to you. 8 Of their flesh shall you not eat, and their carcass shall you not touch, they are unclean to you. Living things in the waters. 9 These shall you eat of all that are in the waters, whatsoever has fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers, them shall you eat. 10 And all that have not fins and scales in the seas, and in the rivers, of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you. 11 They shall be even an abomination unto you. You shall not eat of their flesh, but you shall hold their carcasses in abomination. 12 Whatsoever has no fins nor scales in the waters, that shall be an abomination unto you. Birds of the air. 13 And these are they which you shall hold in abomination among the fowls. They shall not be eaten, they are an abomination. The eagle, and the vulture, and the osprey. 14 And the kite, and the falcon after its kind. 15 every raven after its kind, 16 and the ostrich, and the nighthawk, and the sea-gull, and the hawk after its kind, 17 and the little owl, and the cormorant, and the great owl, 18 and the white owl, and the pelican, and the carrion vulture, 19 and the stork, the heron after its kind, and the hoopoe, and the bat. Flying and creeping things. 20 all winged insects that creep, going upon all fours, shall be an abomination unto you. 21 Yet these may you eat of every winged insect that goes upon all fours, which have legs above their feet, to leap with upon the earth. 22 Even these of them you may eat. The locust after its kind, and the bald locust after its kind, and the cricket after its kind, and the grasshopper after its kind. 23 But all other winged insects, which have 4 feet, shall be an abomination unto you. The carcasses of the unclean animals. 24 And for these you shall be unclean. Whosoever touches the carcass of them shall be unclean until the evening. 25 And whosoever bears any part of the carcass of them shall wash his clothes, and be unclean until the evening. 26 The carcasses of every animal which divides the hoof, and is not cloven-footed, nor chews the cud, are unclean unto you. Every one that touches them shall be unclean. 27 And whatsoever goes upon its paws, among all manner of animals that go on all fours, those are unclean unto you. Whoever touches their carcass shall be unclean until the evening. 28 And he that bears the carcass of them shall wash his clothes, and be unclean until the evening. They are unclean unto you. Creeping things. 29 These also shall be unclean unto you among the creeping things that creep upon the earth, the weasel, and the mouse, and the great lizard after its kind, 30 And the gecko, and the monitor lizard, and the wall lizard, and the sand lizard, and the chameleon. 31 These are unclean to you among all that creep. Whosoever does touch them, when they are dead, shall be unclean until the evening. 32 And upon whatsoever any of them, when they are dead, does fall, it shall be unclean, whether it be any vessel of wood, or clothing, or skin, or sack, whatsoever vessel it be, wherein any work is done, it must be put into water, and it shall be unclean until the evening, so it shall be cleansed. 33 And every earthen vessel, into which any of them falls, whatsoever is in it shall be unclean, and you shall break it. 34 Of all food which may be eaten, that on which such water comes shall be unclean, and all drink that may be drunk in every such vessel shall be unclean. 35 And everything whereupon any part of their carcass falls shall be unclean, whether it be oven, or ranges for pots, they shall be broken, for they are unclean, and shall be unclean unto you. 36 Nevertheless a fountain or pit, wherein there is plenty of water, shall be clean, but that which touches their carcass shall be unclean. 37 And if any part of their carcass fall upon any sowing seed which is to be sown, it shall be clean. 38 But if any water be put upon the seed, and any part of their carcass fall thereon, it shall be unclean unto you. The carcasses of the clean animals. 39 And if any animal, of which you may eat, dies, he that touches the carcass thereof shall be unclean until the evening. 40 And he that eats of the carcass of it shall wash his clothes, and be unclean until the evening. He also that bears the carcass of it shall wash his clothes, and be unclean until the evening. The purpose of the dietary laws. 41 And every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth shall be an abomination, it shall not be eaten. 42 Whatsoever goes upon the belly, and whatsoever goes upon all fours, or whatsoever has many feet among all creeping things that creep upon the earth, them you shall not eat, for they are an abomination. 43 You shall not make yourselves abominable with any creeping thing that creeps, neither shall you make yourselves unclean with them, that you should be defiled by them. 44 For I am the Lord your God. You shall therefore sanctify yourselves, and you shall be holy, for I am holy. Neither shall you defile yourselves with any manner of creeping thing that creeps upon the earth. 45 For I am the Lord that brings you up out of the land of Egypt, to be your God. You shall therefore be holy, for I am holy. 46 This is the law of the animals, and of the fowl, and of every living creature that moves in the waters, and of every creature that creeps upon the earth. 47 To make a difference between the unclean and the clean, and between the animal that may be eaten and the animal that may not be eaten. Chapter 12. Laws concerning childbirth. 1 And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, To speak unto the children of Israel, saying, If a woman has conceived, and born a male child, then she shall be unclean 7 days, as in the days of her customary impurity shall she be unclean. 3 And in the 8th day the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised. 4 And she shall then continue in the blood of her purification 3 and 30 days, she shall touch no hallowed thing, nor come into the sanctuary, until the days of her purification be fulfilled. 5 But if she bears a female child, then she shall be unclean 2 weeks, as in her customary impurity, and she shall continue in the blood of her purification 66 days. 6 And when the days of her purification are fulfilled, for a son, or for a daughter, she shall bring a lamb of the first year for a burnt offering, and a young pigeon, or a turtledove, for a sin offering, unto the door of the tabernacle of meeting, unto the priest. 7 Who shall offer it before the Lord, and make an atonement for her, and she shall be cleansed from the flow of her blood. This is the law for her that has borne a male or a female. 8 And if she be not able to bring a lamb, then she shall bring 2 turtledoves, or 2 young pigeons, the one for the burnt offering, and the other for a sin offering, and the priest shall make an atonement for her, and she shall be clean. Chapter 13. Examination of people. 1 And the Lord spoke unto Moses and Aaron, saying, 2 When a man shall have in the skin of his flesh a swelling, a scab, or bright spot, and it be in the skin of his flesh like the disease of leprosy, then he shall be brought unto Aaron the priest, or unto one of his sons the priests. 3 And the priest shall look on the disease in the skin of the flesh. And when the hair in the disease is turned white, and the disease in sight is deeper than the skin of his flesh, it is a disease of leprosy, and the priest shall look on him, and pronounce him unclean. 4 If the bright spot is white in the skin of his flesh, and in sight is not deeper than the skin, and the hair thereof is not turned white, then the priest shall shut him up that has the disease 7 days. 5 And the priest shall look on him the 7th day. And, behold, if the disease in his sight is unchanged, and the disease spreads not in the skin, then the priest shall shut him up 7 days more. 6 And the priest shall look on him again the 7th day. And, behold, if the disease is somewhat dark, and the disease spreads not in the skin, the priest shall pronounce him clean. It is but a scab. And he shall wash his clothes, and be clean. 7 But if the scab spreads much abroad in the skin, after that he has been seen of the priest for his cleansing, he shall be seen of the priest again. 8 And if the priest sees that, behold, the scab spreads in the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a leprosy. 9 When the disease of leprosy is in a man, then he shall be brought unto the priest. 10 And the priest shall see him. And, behold, if the swelling is white in the skin, and it has turned the hair white, and there is a spot of raw flesh in the swelling. 11 It is an old leprosy in the skin of his flesh, and the priest shall pronounce him unclean, and shall not shut him up, for he is unclean. 12 And if a leprosy breaks out abroad in the skin, and the leprosy covers all the skin of him that has the disease from his head even to his foot, wherever the priest looks. 13 Then the priest shall consider. And, behold, if the leprosy has covered all his flesh, he shall pronounce him clean that has the disease. It is all turned white. He is clean. 14 But when raw flesh appears on him, he shall be unclean. 15 And the priest shall see the raw flesh, and pronounce him to be unclean, for the raw flesh is unclean, it is a leprosy. 16 Or if the raw flesh turns again, and is changed to white, he shall come unto the priest. 17 And the priest shall see him. And, behold, if the disease is turned to white, then the priest shall pronounce him clean that has the disease. He is clean. 18 The flesh also, in which, even in the skin thereof, was a boil, and is healed. 19 And in the place of the boil there be a white swelling, or a bright spot, white, and somewhat reddish, and it be shown to the priest. 20 And if, when the priest sees it, behold, it is in sight lower than the skin, and the hair thereof is turned white, the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a disease of leprosy broken out of the boil. 21 But if the priest looks on it, and, behold, there is no white hairs therein, and if it is not lower than the skin, but is somewhat dark, then the priest shall shut him up 7 days. 22 And if it spreads much abroad in the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a disease. 23 But if the bright spot stays in its place, and spreads not, it is a burning boil, and the priest shall pronounce him clean. 24 Or if there be any flesh, in the skin of which there is a burned spot, and the raw flesh that is burned has a white bright spot, somewhat reddish, or white. 25 Then the priest shall look upon it. And, behold, if the hair in the bright spot is turned white, and it is in sight deeper than the skin, it is a leprosy broken out in the burn. Therefore the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is the disease of leprosy. 26 But if the priest looks on it, and, behold, there be no white hair in the bright spot, and it is no lower than the other skin, but is somewhat dark, then the priest shall shut him up 7 days. 27 And the priest shall look upon him the 7th day, and if it is spread much abroad in the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is the disease of leprosy. 28 And if the bright spot stays in its place, and spreads not in the skin, but it is somewhat dark, it is a swelling of the burn, and the priest shall pronounce him clean, for it is a scar from the burn. 29 If a man or woman has a disease upon the head or the beard, 30 Then the priest shall see the disease. And, behold, if it is in sight deeper than the skin, and there is in it yellow thin hair, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a scaly eruption, even a leprosy upon the head or beard. 31 And if the priest looks on the disease of the scaly eruption, and, behold, it is not in sight deeper than the skin, and that there is no black hair in it, then the priest shall shut him up that has the disease of the scaly eruption 7 days. 32 And in the 7th day the priest shall look on the disease. And, behold, if the scaly eruption spreads not, and there be in it no yellow hair, and the scaly eruption is not in sight deeper than the skin, 33 He shall be shaven, but the scaly eruption shall he not shave. And the priest shall shut him up that has the scaly eruption 7 days more. 34 And in the 7th day the priest shall look on the scaly eruption. And, behold, if the scaly eruption is not spread in the skin, nor be in sight deeper than the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him clean, and he shall wash his clothes, and be clean. 35 But if the scaly eruption spreads much in the skin after his cleansing, 36 Then the priest shall look on him. And, behold, if the scaly eruption is spread in the skin, the priest shall not seek for yellow hair, he is unclean. 37 But if the scaly eruption is in his sight unchanged, and that there is black hair grown up therein, the scaly eruption is healed, he is clean, and the priest shall pronounce him clean. 38 If a man also or a woman has in the skin of their flesh bright spots, even white bright spots, 39 Then the priest shall look. And, behold, if the bright spots in the skin of their flesh be darkish white, it is a freckled spot that grows in the skin, he is clean. 40 And the man whose hair is fallen off his head, he is bald, yet is he clean. 41 And he that has his hair fallen off from the part of his head toward his face, he is forehead bald, yet is he clean. 42 And if there be in the bald head, or bald forehead, a white reddish sore, it is a leprosy sprung up in his bald head, or his bald forehead. 43 Then the priest shall look upon it. And, behold, if the swelling of the sore be white reddish in his bald head, or in his bald forehead, as the leprosy appears in the skin of the flesh. 44 He is a leprous man, he is unclean. The priest shall pronounce him utterly unclean, his disease is in his head. 45 And the leper in whom the disease is, his clothes shall be torn, and his head bare, and he shall put a covering upon his upper lip, and shall cry, Unclean, unclean. 46 All the days in which the disease shall be in him he shall be defiled, he is unclean, he shall dwell alone, outside the camp shall his habitation be. Examination of garments. 47 The garment also that the disease of leprosy is in, whether it be a woolen garment, or a linen garment. 48 Whether it be in the warp, or woof, of linen, or of woolen, whether in a skin, or in anything made of skin. 49 And if the disease be greenish or reddish in the garment, or in the skin, either in the warp, or in the woof, or in anything of skin, it is a disease of leprosy, and shall be shown unto the priest. 50 And the priest shall look upon the disease, and shut up it that has the disease 7 days. 51 And he shall look on the disease on the 7th day. If the disease be spread in the garment, either in the warp, or in the woof, or in a skin, or in any work that is made of skin, the disease is an active leprosy, it is unclean. 52 He shall therefore burn that garment, whether warp or woof, in woolen or in linen, or anything of skin, in which the disease is, for it is an active leprosy, it shall be burned in the fire. 53 And if the priest shall look, and, behold, the disease be not spread in the garment, either in the warp, or in the woof, or in anything of skin. 54 Then the priest shall command that they wash the thing in which the disease is, and he shall shut it up 7 days more. 55 And the priest shall look on the disease, after that it is washed. And, behold, if the disease has not changed its color, though the disease is not spread, it is unclean. You shall burn it in the fire. It continues eating away, whether the damage is inside or outside. 56 And if the priest looks, and, behold, the disease be somewhat dark after the washing of it, then he shall tear it out of the garment, or out of the skin, or out of the warp, or out of the woof. 57 And if it appears still in the garment, either in the warp, or in the woof, or in anything of skin, it is a spreading disease. You shall burn that in which the disease is with fire. 58 And the garment, either warp, or woof, or whatsoever thing of skin it be, which you shall wash, if the disease is departed from it, then it shall be washed the 2nd time, and shall be clean. 59 This is the law of the disease of leprosy in a garment of woolen or linen, either in the warp, or woof, or anything of skins, to pronounce it clean, or to pronounce it unclean. Chapter 14. Cleansing of people. 1 And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, To this shall be the law of the leper in the day of his cleansing. He shall be brought unto the priest. 3 And the priest shall go forth out of the camp. And the priest shall look, and, behold, if the disease of leprosy be healed in the leper. 4 Then shall the priest command to take for him that is to be cleansed 2 birds alive and clean, and cedar wood, and scarlet, and hyssop. 5 And the priest shall command that one of the birds be killed in an earthen vessel over running water. 6 As for the living bird, he shall take it, and the cedar wood, and the scarlet, and the hyssop, and shall dip them and the living bird in the blood of the bird that was killed over the running water. 7 And he shall sprinkle upon him that is to be cleansed from the leprosy 7 times, and shall pronounce him clean, and shall let the living bird loose into the open field. 8 And he that is to be cleansed shall wash his clothes, and shave off all his hair, and wash himself in water, that he may be clean. And after that he shall come into the camp, but shall stay outside of his tent 7 days. 9 But it shall be on the 7th day, that he shall shave all his hair off his head and his beard and his eyebrows, even all his hair he shall shave off. And he shall wash his clothes, also he shall wash his flesh in water, and he shall be clean. 10 And on the 8th day he shall take 2 male lambs without blemish, and 1 ewe lamb of the 1st year without blemish, and 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour for a grain offering, mixed with oil, and 1 log of oil. 11 And the priest that makes him clean shall present the man that is to be made clean, and those things, before the Lord, at the door of the tabernacle of meeting. 12 And the priest shall take 1 male lamb, and offer it for a trespass offering, and the log of oil, and wave them for a wave offering before the Lord. 13 And he shall slay the lamb in the place where he shall kill the sin offering and the burnt offering, in the holy place, for as the sin offering is the priest's, so is the trespass offering. It is most holy. 14 And the priest shall take some of the blood of the trespass offering, and the priest shall put it upon the tip of the right ear of him that is to be cleansed, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot. 15 And the priest shall take some of the log of oil, and pour it into the palm of his own left hand. 16 And the priest shall dip his right finger in the oil that is in his left hand, and shall sprinkle some of the oil with his finger 7 times before the Lord. 17 And some of the rest of the oil that is in his hand shall the priest put upon the tip of the right ear of him that is to be cleansed, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot, upon the blood of the trespass offering. 18 And the remnant of the oil that is in the priest's hand he shall pour upon the head of him that is to be cleansed, and the priest shall make an atonement for him before the Lord. 19 And the priest shall offer the sin offering, and make an atonement for him that is to be cleansed from his uncleanness, and afterward he shall kill the burnt offering. 20 And the priest shall offer the burnt offering and the grain offering upon the altar, and the priest shall make an atonement for him, and he shall be clean. 21 And if he be poor, and cannot get so much, then he shall take 1 lamb for a trespass offering to be waved, to make an atonement for him, and 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil for a grain offering, and a log of oil. 22 And 2 turtledoves, or 2 young pigeons, such as he is able to get, and the one shall be a sin offering, and the other a burnt offering. 23 And he shall bring them on the 8th day for his cleansing unto the priest, unto the door of the tabernacle of meeting, before the Lord. 24 And the priest shall take the lamb of the trespass offering, and the log of oil, and the priest shall wave them for a wave offering before the Lord. 25 And he shall kill the lamb of the trespass offering, and the priest shall take some of the blood of the trespass offering, and put it upon the tip of the right ear of him that is to be cleansed, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot. 26 And the priest shall pour some of the oil into the palm of his own left hand. 27 And the priest shall sprinkle with his right finger some of the oil that is in his left hand 7 times before the Lord. 28 And the priest shall put some of the oil that is in his hand upon the tip of the right ear of him that is to be cleansed, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot, upon the place of the blood of the trespass offering. 29 And the rest of the oil that is in the priest's hand he shall put upon the head of him that is to be cleansed, to make an atonement for him before the Lord. 30 And he shall offer 1 of the turtledoves, or of the young pigeons, such as he can get, 31 Even such as he is able to get, the one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering, with the grain offering, and the priest shall make an atonement for him that is to be cleansed before the Lord. 32 This is the law of him in whom is the disease of leprosy, whose hand is not able to get that which pertains to his cleansing. Cleansing of homes. 33 And the Lord spoke unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, 34 When you are come into the land of Canaan, which I give to you for a possession, and I put the disease of leprosy in a house of the land of your possession. 35 And he that owns the house shall come and tell the priest, saying, It seems to me there is as it were a disease in the house. 36 Then the priest shall command that they empty the house, before the priest goes into it to see the disease, that all that is in the house be not made unclean. And afterward the priest shall go in to see the house. 37 And he shall look on the disease, and, behold, if the disease is in the walls of the house with hollow streaks, greenish or reddish, which incite or deep in the wall. 38 Then the priest shall go out of the house to the door of the house, and shut up the house 7 days. 39 And the priest shall come again the 7th day, and shall look. And, behold, if the disease is spread in the walls of the house. 40 Then the priest shall command that they take away the stones in which the disease is. And they shall cast them into an unclean place outside the city. 41 And he shall cause the house to be scraped inside round about, and they shall pour out the dust that they scrape off outside the city into an unclean place. 42 And they shall take other stones, and put them in the place of those stones, and he shall take other mortar, and shall plaster the house. 43 And if the disease comes again, and breaks out in the house, after that he has taken away the stones, and after he has scraped the house, and after it is plastered. 44 Then the priest shall come and look, and, behold, if the disease is spread in the house, it is an active leprosy in the house, it is unclean. 45 And he shall break down the house, the stones of it, and the timber thereof, and all the mortar of the house, and he shall carry them forth out of the city into an unclean place. 46 Moreover he that goes into the house all the while that it is shut up shall be unclean until the evening. 47 And he that lies in the house shall wash his clothes, and he that eats in the house shall wash his clothes. 48 And if the priest shall come in, and look upon it, and, behold, the disease has not spread in the house, after the house was plastered, then the priest shall pronounce the house clean, because the disease is healed. 49 And he shall take to cleanse the house 2 birds, and cedar wood, and scarlet, and hyssop. 50 And he shall kill one of the birds in an earthen vessel over running water. 51 And he shall take the cedar wood, and the hyssop, and the scarlet, and the living bird, and dip them in the blood of the slain bird, and in the running water, and sprinkle the house 7 times. 52 And he shall cleanse the house with the blood of the bird, and with the running water, and with the living bird, and with the cedar wood, and with the hyssop, and with the scarlet. 53 But he shall let go the living bird out of the city into the open fields, and make an atonement for the house, and it shall be clean. The purpose of laws of leprosy. 54 This is the law for all manner of disease of leprosy, and scaly eruption. 55 And for the leprosy of a garment, and of a house. 56 And for a swelling, and for a scab, and for a bright spot. 57 To teach when it is unclean, and when it is clean. This is the law of leprosy. Chapter 15. Issues of the man. 1 And the Lord spoke unto Moses and to Aaron, saying, To speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When any man has a discharge out of his flesh, because of his discharge he is unclean. 3 And this shall be his uncleanness in his discharge, whether his flesh runs with his discharge, or his flesh be stopped from his discharge, it is his uncleanness. 4 Every bed, whereon he lies that has the discharge, is unclean, and everything, whereon he sits, shall be unclean. 5 And whosoever touches his bed shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. 6 And he that sits on anything on which he sat that has the discharge shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. 7 And he that touches the flesh of him that has the discharge shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. 8 And if he that has the discharge spits upon him that is clean, then he shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. 9 And whatsoever saddle which he rides upon that has the discharge shall be unclean. 10 And whosoever touches anything that was under him shall be unclean until the evening, and he that bears any of those things shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. 11 And whomsoever he touches that has the discharge, and has not rinsed his hands in water, he shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. 12 And the vessel of earth, that he touches which has the discharge, shall be broken, and every vessel of wood shall be rinsed in water. 13 And when he that has a discharge is cleansed of his discharge, then he shall number to himself 7 days for his cleansing, and wash his clothes, and bathe his flesh in running water, and shall be clean. 14 And on the 8th day he shall take for him 2 turtledoves, or 2 young pigeons, and come before the Lord unto the door of the tabernacle of meeting, and give them unto the priest. 15 And the priest shall offer them, the one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering, and the priest shall make an atonement for him before the Lord for his discharge. 16 And if any man's semen go out from him, then he shall wash all his flesh in water, and be unclean until the evening. 17 And every garment, and every skin, on which is the semen, shall be washed with water, and be unclean until the evening. 18 The woman also with whom man shall lie and have an emission of semen, they shall both bathe themselves in water, and be unclean until the evening. Issues of the woman. 19 And if a woman has a discharge, and her discharge in her flesh is blood, she shall be put apart 7 days, and whosoever touches her shall be unclean until the evening. 20 And everything that she lies upon in her impurity shall be unclean, Everything also that she sits upon shall be unclean. 21 And whosoever touches her bed shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. 22 And whosoever touches anything that she sat upon shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. 23 And if it be on her bed, or on anything on which she sits, when he touches it, he shall be unclean until the evening. 24 And if any man lie with her at all, and her impurity is upon him, he shall be unclean 7 days, and all the beds on which he lies shall be unclean. 25 And if a woman has a discharge of blood many days other than the time of her impurity, or if it runs beyond the time of her impurity, all the days of the discharge of her uncleanness shall be as the days of her impurity, she shall be unclean. 26 Every bed on which she lies all the days of her discharge shall be unto her as the bed of her impurity, and whatsoever she sits upon shall be unclean, as in the uncleanness of her impurity. 27 And whosoever touches those things shall be unclean, and shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. 28 But if she be cleansed of her discharge, then she shall number to herself 7 days, and after that she shall be clean. 29 And on the 8th day she shall take unto her 2 turtledoves, or 2 young pigeons, and bring them unto the priest, to the door of the tabernacle of meeting. 30 And the priest shall offer the one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering, and the priest shall make an atonement for her before the Lord for the discharge of her uncleanness. The purpose of the laws of issues. 31 Thus shall you separate the children of Israel from their uncleanness, that they die not in their uncleanness, when they defile my tabernacle that is among them. 32 This is the law of him that has a discharge, and of him who has an emission of semen, and is unclean thereby. 33 And of her that is sick of her impurity, and of him that has a discharge, of the man, and of the woman, and of him that lies with her who is unclean. Chapter 16. Preparation of the High Priest. 1 And the Lord spoke unto Moses after the death of the 2 sons of Aaron, when they offered before the Lord, and died. 2 And the Lord said unto Moses, Speak unto Aaron your brother, that he come not at all times into the holy place within the veil before the mercy seat, which is upon the ark, that he die not, for I will appear in the cloud upon the mercy seat. 3 Thus shall Aaron come into the holy place, with a young bullock for a sin offering, and a ram for a burnt offering. 4 He shall put on the holy linen coat, and he shall have the linen trousers upon his flesh, and shall be girded with a linen belt, and with the linen turban shall he be attired. These are holy garments, therefore shall he wash his flesh in water, and so put them on. 5 And he shall take for the congregation of the children of Israel 2 kids of the goats for a sin offering, and 1 ram for a burnt offering. Identification of the sacrifices. 6 And Aaron shall offer his bullock of the sin offering, which is for himself, and make an atonement for himself, and for his house. 7 And he shall take the 2 goats, and present them before the Lord at the door of the tabernacle of meeting. 8 And Aaron shall cast lots upon the 2 goats, 1 lot for the Lord, and the other lot for the scapegoat. 9 And Aaron shall bring the goat upon which the Lord's lot fell, and offer him for a sin offering. 10 But the goat, on which the lot fell to be the scapegoat, shall be presented alive before the Lord, to make an atonement with him, and to let him go for a scapegoat into the wilderness. Atonement for the priest. 11 And Aaron shall bring the bullock of the sin offering, which is for himself, and shall make an atonement for himself, and for his house, and shall kill the bullock of the sin offering which is for himself. 12 And he shall take a censer full of burning coals of fire from off the altar before the Lord, and his hands full of sweet incense beaten small, and bring it within the veil. 13 And he shall put the incense upon the fire before the Lord, that the cloud of the incense may cover the mercy seat that is upon the testimony, that he die not. 14 And he shall take of the blood of the bullock, and sprinkle it with his finger upon the mercy seat eastward, and before the mercy seat shall he sprinkle of the blood with his finger 7 times. Atonement for the tabernacle. 15 Then shall he kill the goat of the sin offering, that is for the people, and bring his blood within the veil, and do with that blood as he did with the blood of the bullock, and sprinkle it upon the mercy seat, and before the mercy seat. 16 And he shall make an atonement for the holy place, because of the uncleanness of the children of Israel, and because of their transgressions in all their sins. And so shall he do for the tabernacle of meeting, that remains among them in the midst of their uncleanness. 17 And there shall be no man in the tabernacle of meeting when he goes in to make an atonement in the holy place, until he comes out, and has made an atonement for himself, and for his household, and for all the congregation of Israel. 18 And he shall go out unto the altar that is before the Lord, and make an atonement for it, and shall take of the blood of the bullock, and of the blood of the goat, and put it upon the horns of the altar round about. 19 And he shall sprinkle of the blood upon it with his finger 7 times, and cleanse it, and hallow it from the uncleanness of the children of Israel. Atonement for the people. 20 And when he has made an end of atoning for the holy place, and the tabernacle of meeting, and the altar, he shall bring the live goat. 21 And Aaron shall lay both his hands upon the head of the live goat, and confess over him all the iniquities of the children of Israel, and all their transgressions in all their sins, putting them upon the head of the goat, and shall send him away by the hand of a suitable man into the wilderness. 22 And the goat shall bear upon him all their iniquities unto a land not inhabited. And he shall let go the goat in the wilderness. 23 And Aaron shall come into the tabernacle of meeting, and shall put off the linen garments, which he put on when he went into the holy place, and shall leave them there. 24 And he shall wash his flesh with water in the holy place, and put on his garments, and come forth, and offer his burnt offering, and the burnt offering of the people, and make an atonement for himself, and for the people. 25 And the fat of the sin offering shall he burn upon the altar. 26 And he that let go the goat for the scapegoat shall wash his clothes, and bathe his flesh in water, and afterward come into the camp. 27 And the bullock for the sin offering, and the goat for the sin offering, whose blood was brought in to make atonement in the holy place, shall one carry forth outside the camp, and they shall burn in the fire their skins, and their flesh, and their dung. 28 And he that burns them shall wash his clothes, and bathe his flesh in water, and afterward he shall come into the camp. The purpose of the Day of Atonement. 29 And this shall be a statute forever unto you, that in the 7th month, on the 10th day of the month, you shall humble yourselves, and do no work at all, whether it be one of your own country, or a stranger that sojourns among you. 30 For on that day shall the priest make an atonement for you, to cleanse you, that you may be clean from all your sins before the Lord. 31 It shall be a Sabbath of rest unto you, and you shall humble yourselves, by a statute forever. 32 And the priest, whom he shall anoint, and whom he shall consecrate to minister in the priest's office in his father's stead, shall make the atonement, and shall put on the linen clothes, even the holy garments. 33 And he shall make an atonement for the holy sanctuary, and he shall make an atonement for the tabernacle of meeting, and for the altar, and he shall make an atonement for the priests, and for all the people of the congregation. 34 And this shall be an everlasting statute unto you, to make an atonement for the children of Israel for all their sins once a year. And he did as the Lord commanded Moses. Chapter 17. Laws about the location of sacrifices. 1 And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, to speak unto Aaron, and unto his sons, and unto all the children of Israel, and say unto them, This is the thing which the Lord has commanded, saying, 3 Whatsoever man there be of the house of Israel, that kills an ox, or lamb, or goat, in the camp, or that kills it out of the camp, 4 And brings it not unto the door of the tabernacle of meeting, to offer an offering unto the Lord before the tabernacle of the Lord, blood shall be imputed unto that man, he has shed blood. And that man shall be cut off from among his people. 5 To the end that the children of Israel may bring their sacrifices, which they offer in the open field, even that they may bring them unto the Lord, unto the door of the tabernacle of meeting, unto the priest, and offer them for peace offerings unto the Lord. 6 And the priest shall sprinkle the blood upon the altar of the Lord at the door of the tabernacle of meeting, and burn the fat for a sweet aroma unto the Lord. 7 And they shall no more offer their sacrifices unto demons, after whom they have played the harlot. This shall be a statute forever unto them throughout their generations. 8 And you shall say unto them, whatsoever man there be of the house of Israel, or of the strangers who sojourn among you, that offers a burnt offering or sacrifice, 9 And brings it not unto the door of the tabernacle of meeting, to offer it unto the Lord, even that man shall be cut off from among his people. Laws regarding the use of blood. 10 And whatsoever man there be of the house of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, that eats any manner of blood, I will even set my face against that soul that eats blood, and will cut him off from among his people. 11 For the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you upon the altar to make an atonement for your souls, for it is the blood that makes an atonement for the soul. 12 Therefore I said unto the children of Israel, no soul of you shall eat blood, neither shall any stranger that sojourns among you eat blood. 13 And whatsoever man there be of the children of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, who hunts and catches any animal or fowl that may be eaten, he shall even pour out the blood thereof, and cover it with dust. 14 For it is the life of all flesh, the blood of it is for the life thereof. Therefore I said unto the children of Israel, you shall eat the blood of no kind of flesh, for the life of all flesh is the blood thereof, whosoever eats it shall be cut off. 15 And every soul that eats that which died of itself, or that which was torn by animals, whether it be one of your own country, or a stranger, he shall both wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening, then shall he be clean. 16 But if he washes them not, nor bathes his flesh, then he shall bear his iniquity. Chapter 18. Laws concerning sexual immorality. 1 And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, to speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, I am the Lord your God. 3 According to the practices in the land of Egypt, wherein you dwelt, shall you not do, and according to the practices of the land of Canaan, where I bring you, shall you not do, neither shall you walk in their ordinances. 4 You shall do my ordinances, and keep my statutes, to walk therein, I am the Lord your God. 5 You shall therefore keep my statutes, and my judgments, which if a man do, he shall live in them, I am the Lord. 6 None of you shall approach to any that is near of kin to him, to uncover their nakedness, I am the Lord. 7 The nakedness of your father, or the nakedness of your mother, shall you not uncover, she is your mother, you shall not uncover her nakedness. 8 The nakedness of your father's wife shall you not uncover, it is your father's nakedness. 9 The nakedness of your sister, the daughter of your father, or daughter of your mother, whether she be born at home, or born abroad, even her nakedness you shall not uncover. 10 The nakedness of your son's daughter, or of your daughter's daughter, even their nakedness you shall not uncover, for theirs is your own nakedness. 11 The nakedness of your father's wife's daughter, begotten of your father, she is your sister, you shall not uncover her nakedness. 12 You shall not uncover the nakedness of your father's sister, she is your father's near kinswoman. 13 You shall not uncover the nakedness of your mother's sister, for she is your mother's near kinswoman. 14 You shall not uncover the nakedness of your father's brother, you shall not approach to his wife, she is your aunt. 15 You shall not uncover the nakedness of your daughter-in-law, she is your son's wife, you shall not uncover her nakedness. 16 You shall not uncover the nakedness of your brother's wife, it is your brother's nakedness. 17 You shall not uncover the nakedness of a woman and her daughter, neither shall you take her son's daughter, or her daughter's daughter, to uncover her nakedness, for they are her near kinswomen, it is wickedness. 18 Neither shall you take as a wife her sister, to vex her, to uncover her nakedness, beside the other in her lifetime. 19 Also you shall not approach unto a woman to uncover her nakedness, as long as she is put apart for her uncleanness. 20 Moreover you shall not lie carnally with your neighbor's wife, to defile yourself with her. 21 And you shall not let any of your children pass through the fire to Molech, neither shall you profane the name of your God. I am the Lord. 22 You shall not lie with a man, as with a woman, it is abomination. 23 Neither shall you lie with any animal to defile yourself with it, neither shall any woman stand before an animal to lie down with it, it is perversion. 24 Defile not you yourselves in any of these things, for in all these the nations are defiled which I cast out before you. 25 And the land is defiled. Therefore I do visit the iniquity thereof upon it, and the land itself vomits out its inhabitants. 26 You shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, and shall not commit any of these abominations, neither any of your own nation, nor any stranger that sojourns among you. 27 For all these abominations have the men of the land done, which were before you, and the land is defiled. 28 That the land vomit you not out also, when you defile it, as it vomited out the nations that were before you. 29 For whosoever shall commit any of these abominations, even the souls that commit them shall be cut off from among their people. 30 Therefore shall you keep my ordinance, that you commit not any one of these abominable customs, which were committed before you, and that you defile not yourselves therein. I am the Lord your God. Chapter 19. Laws concerning society. 1 And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, To speak unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, and say unto them, You shall be holy, for I the Lord your God am holy. 3 You shall fear every man his mother, and his father, and keep my Sabbaths. I am the Lord your God. 4 Turn you not unto idols, nor make to yourselves molten gods. I am the Lord your God. 5 And if you offer a sacrifice of peace offerings unto the Lord, you shall offer it at your own will. 6 It shall be eaten the same day you offer it, and the next day, and if any remains until the third day, it shall be burned in the fire. 7 And if it be eaten at all on the third day, it is abominable, it shall not be accepted. 8 Therefore every one that eats it shall bear his iniquity, because he has profaned the hallowed thing of the Lord, and that soul shall be cut off from among his people. 9 And when you reap the harvest of your land, you shall not wholly reap the corners of your field, neither shall you gather the gleanings of your harvest. 10 And you shall not glean your vineyard, neither shall you gather every grape of your vineyard, you shall leave them for the poor and stranger. I am the Lord your God. 11 You shall not steal, neither deal falsely, neither lie one to another. 12 And you shall not swear by my name falsely, neither shall you profane the name of your God. I am the Lord. 13 You shall not defraud your neighbor, neither rob him. The wages of him that is hired shall not abide with you all night until the morning. 14 You shall not curse the deaf, nor put a stumbling block before the blind, but shall fear your God. I am the Lord. 15 You shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. You shall not be partial to the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty, but in righteousness shall you judge your neighbor. 16 You shall not go up and down as a talebearer among your people, neither shall you take a stand against the life of your neighbor. I am the Lord. 17 You shall not hate your brother in your heart. You shall surely rebuke your neighbor, and not bear sin because of him. 18 You shall not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of your people, but you shall love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord. 19 You shall keep my statutes. You shall not let your cattle breed with another kind. You shall not sow your field with mixed seed, neither shall a garment of mixed linen and wool come upon you. 20 And whosoever lies carnally with a woman, that is a slave, betrothed to a husband, and not at all redeemed, nor freedom given her, there shall be punishment. They shall not be put to death, because she was not free. 21 And he shall bring his trespass offering unto the Lord, unto the door of the tabernacle of meeting, even a ram for a trespass offering. 22 And the priest shall make an atonement for him with the ram of the trespass offering before the Lord for his sin which he has done, and the sin which he has done shall be forgiven him. 23 And when you shall come into the land, and shall have planted all manner of trees for food, then you shall count the fruit thereof as unclean. 3 years shall it be as unclean unto you, it shall not be eaten of. 24 But in the 4th year all the fruit thereof shall be holy to praise the Lord with. 25 And in the 5th year shall you eat of the fruit thereof, that it may yield unto you its increase. I am the Lord your God. 26 You shall not eat anything with the blood, neither shall you use divination, nor witchcraft. 27 You shall not shave around the sides of your heads, neither shall you disfigure the corners of your beard. 28 You shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor tattoo any marks upon you. I am the Lord. 29 Do not prostitute your daughter, to cause her to be a harlot, lest the land fall into harlotry, and the land become full of wickedness. 30 You shall keep my Sabbaths, and reverence my sanctuary. I am the Lord. 31 Regard not mediums, neither seek after wizards, to be defiled by them. I am the Lord your God. 32 You shall rise up before the gray-headed, and honor the face of the old man, and fear your God. I am the Lord. 33 And if a stranger sojourns with you in your land, you shall not mistreat him. 34 But the stranger that dwells with you shall be unto you as one born among you, and you shall love him as yourself, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. 35 You shall do no unrighteousness in judgment, in measures of length, or weight, or quantity. 36 Just balances, just weights, a just ephah, and a just hin, shall you have. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt. 37 Therefore shall you observe all my statutes, and all my judgments, and do them. I am the Lord. Chapter 20. The penalty for worshipping Molech. 1 And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, 2 Again, you shall say to the children of Israel, whosoever he be of the children of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn in Israel, that gives any of his children unto Molech, he shall surely be put to death. The people of the land shall stone him with stones. 3 And I will set my face against that man, and will cut him off from among his people, because he has given of his children unto Molech, to defile my sanctuary, and to profane my holy name. 4 And if the people of the land do in any way hide their eyes from the man, when he gives of his children unto Molech, and kill him not. 5 Then I will set my face against that man, and against his family, and will cut him off, and all that play the harlot with him, to commit harlotry after Molech, from among their people. The penalty for consulting spirits. 6 And the soul that turns after mediums, and after wizards, to play the harlot after them, I will even set my face against that soul, and will cut him off from among his people. 7 Sanctify yourselves therefore, and be you holy, for I am the Lord your God. 8 And you shall keep my statutes, and do them. I am the Lord who sanctifies you. The penalty for cursing parents. 9 For every one that curses his father or his mother shall be surely put to death. He has cursed his father or his mother, his blood shall be upon him. The penalty for sexual immorality. 10 And the man that commits adultery with another man's wife, even he that commits adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death. 11 And the man that lies with his father's wife has uncovered his father's nakedness. Both of them shall surely be put to death, their blood shall be upon them. 12 And if a man lies with his daughter-in-law, both of them shall surely be put to death. They have committed perversion, their blood shall be upon them. 13 If a man also lies with a man, as he lies with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death, their blood shall be upon them. 14 And if a man takes a wife and her mother, it is wickedness. They shall be burned with fire, both he and they, that there be no wickedness among you. 15 And if a man lies with an animal, he shall surely be put to death, and you shall slay the animal. 16 And if a woman approaches unto any animal, and lies with it, you shall kill the woman, and the animal, they shall surely be put to death, their blood shall be upon them. 17 And if a man shall take his sister, his father's daughter, or his mother's daughter, and see her nakedness, and she see his nakedness, it is a wicked thing, and they shall be cut off in the sight of their people. He has uncovered his sister's nakedness, he shall bear his iniquity. 18 And if a man shall lie with a woman having her sickness, and shall uncover her nakedness, he has made naked her fountain, and she has uncovered the fountain of her blood, and both of them shall be cut off from among their people. 19 And you shall not uncover the nakedness of your mother's sister, nor of your father's sister, for he uncovers his near kin, they shall bear their iniquity. 20 And if a man shall lie with his uncle's wife, he has uncovered his uncle's nakedness, they shall bear their sin, they shall die childless. 21 And if a man shall take his brother's wife, it is an unclean thing, he has uncovered his brother's nakedness, they shall be childless. Laws of sanctification of the people. 22 You shall therefore keep all my statutes, and all my judgments, and do them, that the land, where I bring you to dwell therein, vomit you not out. 23 And you shall not walk in the customs of the nation, which I cast out before you, for they committed all these things, and therefore I abhorred them. 24 But I have said unto you, you shall inherit their land, and I will give it unto you to possess it, a land that flows with milk and honey. I am the Lord your God, who has separated you from other people. 25 You shall therefore make a distinction between clean animals and unclean, and between unclean fowls and clean, and you shall not make your souls abominable by animal, or by fowl, or by any manner of living thing that creeps on the ground, which I have separated from you as unclean. 26 And you shall be holy unto me, for I the Lord am holy, and have separated you from other people, that you should be mine. 27 A man also or woman that is a medium, or that is a wizard, shall surely be put to death, they shall stone them with stones, their blood shall be upon them. Chapter 21. Laws concerning priests. 1 And the Lord said unto Moses, Speak unto the priests the sons of Aaron, and say unto them, There shall none defile himself for the dead among his people, 2 But for his kin, that is near unto him, that is, for his mother, and for his father, and for his son, and for his daughter, and for his brother, 3 And for his sister a virgin, that is near unto him, who has had no husband, for her he may be defiled. 4 But he shall not otherwise defile himself, being a chief man among his people, to profane himself. 5 They shall not make any bald place upon their head, neither shall they shave off the corner of their beard, nor make any cuttings in their flesh. 6 They shall be holy unto their God, and not profane the name of their God, for the offerings of the Lord made by fire, and the bread of their God, they do offer, therefore they shall be holy. 7 They shall not take a wife that is a harlot, or is defiled, neither shall they take a woman put away from her husband, for he is holy unto his God. 8 You shall sanctify him therefore, for he offers the bread of your God, he shall be holy unto you, for I the Lord, who sanctifies you, am holy. 9 And the daughter of any priest, if she defiles herself by playing the harlot, she defiles her father, she shall be burned with fire. Laws concerning the high priest. 10 And he that is the high priest among his brethren, upon whose head the anointing oil was poured, and that is consecrated to put on the garments, shall not uncover his head, nor rend his clothes. 11 Neither shall he go into any dead body, nor defile himself for his father, or for his mother. 12 Neither shall he go out of the sanctuary, nor profane the sanctuary of his God, for the crown of the anointing oil of his God is upon him. I am the Lord. 13 And he shall take a wife in her virginity. 14 A widow, or a divorced woman, or defiled, or a harlot, these shall he not take, but he shall take a virgin of his own people as wife. 15 Neither shall he defile his descendants among his people, for I the Lord do sanctify him. Persons prohibited from the priesthood. 16 And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, 17 Speak unto Aaron, saying, Whosoever he be of your descendants in their generations that has any blemish, let him not approach to offer the bread of his God. 18 For whatsoever man he is that has a blemish, he shall not approach, a blind man, or lame, or he that has a marred face, or any limb too long. 19 Or a man that has a broken foot, or broken hand. 20 Or a hunchback, or a dwarf, or that has a defect in his eye, or an itching disease, or scabs, or is a eunuch. 21 No man that has a blemish of the descendants of Aaron the priest shall come near to offer the offerings of the Lord made by fire. He has a blemish, he shall not come near to offer the bread of his God. 22 He may eat the bread of his God, both of the most holy, and of the holy. 23 Only he shall not go in unto the veil, nor come near unto the altar, because he has a blemish, that he defile not my sanctuaries, for I the Lord do sanctify them. 24 And Moses told it unto Aaron, and to his sons, and unto all the children of Israel. Chapter 22 Sanctification of the priesthood. 1 And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, To speak unto Aaron and to his sons, that they separate themselves from the holy things of the children of Israel, and that they profane not my holy name in those things which they hallow unto me. I am the Lord. 3 Say unto them, Whosoever he be of all your descendants among your generations, that goes unto the holy things, which the children of Israel hallow unto the Lord, having uncleanness upon him, that soul shall be cut off from my presence. I am the Lord. 4 Whatsoever man of the descendants of Aaron who is a leper, or has a discharge, he shall not eat of the holy things, until he is clean. And whoever touches anything that is defiled by a dead body, or a man who has had an emission of semen, 5 Or whosoever touches any creeping thing, by which he may be made unclean, or a man by whom he may be made unclean, whatsoever his uncleanness may be. 6 The soul which has touched any such shall be unclean until evening, and shall not eat of the holy things, unless he washes his flesh with water. 7 And when the sun is down, he shall be clean, and shall afterward eat of the holy things, because it is his food. 8 That which dies of itself, or is torn by animals, he shall not eat to defile himself by it. I am the Lord. 9 They shall therefore keep my ordinance, lest they bear sin for it, and die therefore, if they profane it. I the Lord do sanctify them. 10 There shall no stranger eat of the holy thing, a sojourner of the priest, or a hired servant, shall not eat of the holy thing. 11 But if the priest buys any person with his money, he shall eat of it, and he that is born in his house, they shall eat of his food. 12 If the priest's daughter also be married unto a stranger, she may not eat of an offering of the holy things. 13 But if the priest's daughter be a widow, or divorced, and have no child, and is returned unto her father's house, as in her youth, she shall eat of her father's food, but there shall no stranger eat of it. 14 And if a man eat of a holy thing unwittingly, then he shall add the 5th part of it unto it, and shall give it unto the priest with the holy thing. 15 And they shall not profane the holy things of the children of Israel, which they offer unto the Lord. 16 Or allow them to bear the iniquity of trespass, when they eat their holy offerings, for I the Lord do sanctify them. Items prohibited from sacrifice. 17 And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, 18 Speak unto Aaron, and to his sons, and unto all the children of Israel, and say unto them, Whosoever he be of the house of Israel, or of the strangers in Israel, that will offer his offering for all his vows, and for all his freewill offerings, which they will offer unto the Lord for a burnt offering. 19 You shall offer of your own free will a male without blemish, of the cattle, of the sheep, or of the goats. 20 But whatsoever has a blemish, that shall you not offer, for it shall not be acceptable for you. 21 And whosoever offers a sacrifice of peace offerings unto the Lord to accomplish his vow, or a freewill offering in cattle or sheep, it shall be perfect to be accepted, there shall be no blemish in it. 22 Blind, or broken, or maimed, or having a discharge, or an itching disease, or scabs, you shall not offer these unto the Lord, nor make an offering by fire of them upon the altar unto the Lord. 23 Either a bullock or a lamb that has any limb too long or too short, that may you offer for a freewill offering, but for a vow it shall not be accepted. 24 You shall not offer unto the Lord that which is bruised, or crushed, or broken, or cut, neither shall you make any offering of it in your land. 25 Neither any gotten from a stranger's hand shall you offer as the bread of your God of any of these, because their defect is in them, and blemishes are in them, they shall not be accepted for you. 26 And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, 27 When a bullock, or a sheep, or a goat, is born, then it shall be 7 days with the mother, and from the 8th day and thereafter it shall be accepted for an offering made by fire unto the Lord. 28 And whether it be cow or ewe, you shall not kill both it and her young on the same day. 29 And when you will offer a sacrifice of thanksgiving unto the Lord, offer it of your own will. 30 On the same day it shall be eaten up, you shall leave none of it until morning, I am the Lord. The purpose of the laws of the priesthood. 31 Therefore shall you keep my commandments, and do them, I am the Lord. 32 Neither shall you profane my holy name, but I will be hallowed among the children of Israel. I am the Lord who hallows you. 33 That brought you out of the land of Egypt, to be your God. I am the Lord. Chapter 23. The Weekly Sabbath. 1 And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, To speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, concerning the feasts of the Lord, which you shall proclaim to be holy convocations, even these are my feasts. 6 days shall work be done, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of rest, a holy convocation, you shall do no work on it, it is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings. The Passover. 4 These are the feasts of the Lord, even holy convocations, which you shall proclaim in their appointed times. 5 And the 14th day of the first month at evening is the Lord's Passover. Unleavened bread. 6 And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto the Lord. 7 days you must eat unleavened bread. 7 In the first day you shall have a holy convocation, you shall do no regular work on it. 8 But you shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord 7 days. In the seventh day is a holy convocation, you shall do no regular work on it. First fruits. 9 And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, 10 Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When you are come into the land which I give unto you, and shall reap the harvest thereof, then you shall bring a sheaf of the first fruits of your harvest unto the priest. 11 And he shall wave the sheaf before the Lord, to be accepted for you. The next day after the Sabbath the priest shall wave it. 12 And you shall offer that day when you wave the sheaf a male lamb without blemish of the first year for a burnt offering unto the Lord. 13 And the grain offering thereof shall be 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil, an offering made by fire unto the Lord for a sweet aroma. And the drink offering thereof shall be of wine, the fourth part of a hin. 14 And you shall eat neither bread, nor parched grain, nor fresh grain, until the same day that you have brought an offering unto your God. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. Pentecost. 15 And you shall count unto you from the day after the Sabbath, from the day that you brought the sheaf of the wave offering, 7 Sabbaths shall be completed. 16 Even unto the day after the seventh Sabbath shall you number 50 days, and you shall offer a new grain offering unto the Lord. 17 You shall bring out of your dwellings 2 wave loaves of 2/10 of an ephah. They shall be of fine flour, they shall be baked with leaven, they are the first fruits unto the Lord. 18 And you shall offer with the bread 7 lambs without blemish of the first year, and 1 young bullock, and 2 rams. They shall be for a burnt offering unto the Lord, with their grain offering, and their drink offerings, even an offering made by fire, of sweet aroma unto the Lord. 19 Then you shall sacrifice 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, and 2 lambs of the first year for a sacrifice of peace offerings. 20 And the priest shall wave them with the bread of the first fruits for a wave offering before the Lord with the 2 lambs, they shall be holy to the Lord for the priest. 21 And you shall proclaim on the same day, that it may be a holy convocation unto you. You shall do no regular work on it, it shall be a statute forever in all your dwellings throughout your generations. 22 And when you reap the harvest of your land, you shall not completely reap the corners of your field when you reap, neither shall you gather any gleaning of your harvest. You shall leave them unto the poor, and to the stranger. I am the Lord your God. Trumpets. 23 And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, 24 Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, In the 7th month, in the first day of the month, shall you have a Sabbath, a memorial of blowing of trumpets, a holy convocation. 25 You shall do no regular work on it, but you shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. Day of Atonement. 26 And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, 27 Also on the 10th day of this 7th month there shall be a day of atonement. It shall be a holy convocation unto you, and you shall humble yourselves, and offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. 28 And you shall do no work in that same day, for it is a day of atonement, to make an atonement for you before the Lord your God. 29 For whatsoever soul it be that shall not be humbled in that same day, he shall be cut off from among his people. 30 And whatsoever soul it be that does any work in that same day, the same soul will I destroy from among his people. 31 You shall do no manner of work. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. 32 It shall be unto you a Sabbath of rest, and you shall humble yourselves. In the 9th day of the month at evening, from evening unto evening, shall you celebrate your Sabbath. Tabernacles. 33 And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, 34 Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, The 15th day of this 7th month shall be the feast of tabernacles for 7 days unto the Lord. 35 On the first day shall be a holy convocation. You shall do no regular work on it. 36 7 days you shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. On the 8th day shall be a holy convocation unto you, and you shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. It is a solemn assembly, and you shall do no regular work on it. 37 These are the feasts of the Lord, which you shall proclaim to be holy convocations, to offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord, a burnt offering, and a grain offering, a sacrifice, and drink offerings, everything on its day. 38 Besides the Sabbaths of the Lord, and besides your gifts, and besides all your vows, and besides all your freewill offerings, which you give unto the Lord. 39 Also in the 15th day of the 7th month, when you have gathered in the fruit of the land, you shall keep a feast unto the Lord 7 days. On the first day shall be a Sabbath, and on the 8th day shall be a Sabbath. 40 And you shall take on the first day the fruit of choice trees, branches of palm trees, and the boughs of leafy trees, and willows of the brook, and you shall rejoice before the Lord your God 7 days. 41 And you shall keep it as a feast unto the Lord 7 days in the year. It shall be a statute forever in your generations. You shall celebrate it in the 7th month. 42 You shall dwell in booths 7 days. All that are born Israelites shall dwell in booths. 43 That your generations may know that I made the children of Israel to dwell in booths, when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. 44 And Moses declared unto the children of Israel the feasts of the Lord. Chapter 24. Oil for the lamps. 1 And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, To command the children of Israel, that they bring unto you pure beaten olive oil for the light, to cause the lamps to burn continually. 3 Outside the veil of the testimony, in the tabernacle of meeting, shall Aaron keep it in order from the evening unto the morning before the Lord continually. It shall be a statute forever in your generations. 4 He shall keep in order the lamps upon the pure lampstand before the Lord continually. The shewbread. 5 And you shall take fine flour, and bake 12 cakes of it. 2/10 of an ephah shall be in 1 cake. 6 And you shall set them in 2 rows, 6 on a row, upon the pure gold table before the Lord. 7 And you shall put pure frankincense upon each row, that it may be on the bread for a memorial, even an offering made by fire unto the Lord. 8 Every Sabbath he shall set it in order before the Lord continually, being taken from the children of Israel by an everlasting covenant. 9 And it shall be Aaron's and his sons, and they shall eat it in the holy place, for it is most holy unto him of the offerings of the Lord made by fire, a perpetual statute. Law of the sanctified name of God. 10 And the son of an Israelitish woman, whose father was an Egyptian, went out among the children of Israel. And this son of the Israelitish woman and a man of Israel strove together in the camp. 11 And the Israelitish woman's son blasphemed the name of the Lord, and cursed. And they brought him unto Moses. And his mother's name was Shelemith, the daughter of Debri, of the tribe of Dan. 12 And they put him in custody, that the mind of the Lord might be shown them. 13 And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, 14 Bring forth him that has cursed outside the camp, and let all that heard him lay their hands upon his head, and let all the congregation stone him. 15 And you shall speak unto the children of Israel, saying, Whosoever curses his God shall bear his sin. 16 And he that blasphemes the name of the Lord, he shall surely be put to death, and all the congregation shall certainly stone him, as well the stranger, as he that is born in the land, when he blasphemes the name of the Lord, shall be put to death. 17 And he that kills any man shall surely be put to death. 18 And he that kills an animal shall make it good, animal for animal. 19 And if a man causes a disfigurement in his neighbor, as he has done, so shall it be done to him. 20 Fracture for fracture, eye for eye, tooth for tooth. As he has caused a disfigurement in a man, so shall it be done to him again. 21 And he that kills an animal, he shall restore it, and he that kills a man, he shall be put to death. 22 You shall have one manner of law, as well for the stranger, as for one of your own country, for I am the Lord your God. 23 And Moses spoke to the children of Israel, that they should bring forth him that had cursed out of the camp, and stone him with stones. And the children of Israel did as the Lord commanded Moses. Chapter 25. Law of the Sabbath Year. 1 And the Lord spoke unto Moses in Mount Sinai, saying, To speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When you come into the land which I give you, then shall the land keep a Sabbath unto the Lord. 6 years you shall sow your field, and 6 years you shall prune your vineyard, and gather in the fruit thereof. But in the 7th year shall be a Sabbath of rest unto the land, a Sabbath for the Lord. You shall neither sow your field, nor prune your vineyard. 5 That which grows of its own accord of your harvest you shall not reap, neither gather the grapes of your untended vine, for it is a year of rest unto the land. 6 And the Sabbath of the land shall be food for you, and for your male and female servants, and for your hired man, and for your stranger that sojourns with you. 7 And for your cattle, and for the animals that are in your land, shall all the increase thereof be food. Law of the year of Jubilee. 8 And you shall number 7 Sabbaths of years unto you, 7 times 7 years, and the space of the 7 Sabbaths of years shall be unto you 49 years. 9 Then shall you cause the trumpet of the Jubilee to sound on the 10th day of the 7th month, on the day of atonement shall you make the trumpet sound throughout all your land. 10 And you shall hallow the 50th year, and proclaim liberty throughout all the land unto all the inhabitants thereof. It shall be a jubilee unto you, and you shall return every man unto his possession, and you shall return every man unto his family. 11 A jubilee shall that 50th year be unto you. You shall not sow, neither reap that which grows of itself in it, nor gather the grapes in it of your untended vine. 12 For it is the Jubilee, it shall be holy unto you, you shall eat what it yields thereof out of the field. 13 In the year of this Jubilee you shall return every man unto his possession. 14 And if you sell anything unto your neighbor, or buy anything of your neighbor's hand, you shall not oppress one another. 15 According to the number of years after the Jubilee you shall buy of your neighbor, and according unto the number of years of crops he shall sell unto you. 16 According to the multitude of years you shall increase the price thereof, and according to the fewness of years you shall diminish the price of it, for according to the number of the years of crops does he sell unto you. 17 You shall not therefore oppress one another, but you shall fear your God, for I am the Lord your God. 18 Therefore you shall do my statutes, and keep my judgments, and do them, and you shall dwell in the land in safety. 19 And the land shall yield its fruit, and you shall eat your fill, and dwell therein in safety. 20 And if you shall say, What shall we eat the 7th year? Behold, we shall not sow, nor gather in our increase. 21 Then I will command my blessing upon you in the 6th year, and it shall bring forth fruit for 3 years. 22 And you shall sow the 8th year, and eat yet of old fruit until the 9th year, until its new fruits come and you shall eat of the old fruit. 23 The land shall not be sold forever, for the land is mine, for you are strangers and sojourners with me. 24 And in all the land of your possession you shall grant a redemption for the land. 25 If your brother becomes poor, and has sold away some of his possession, and if any of his kin come to redeem it, then shall he redeem that which his brother sold. 26 And if the man has none to redeem it, but he becomes able to redeem it, 27 Then let him count the years of the sale thereof, and restore the overpayment unto the man to whom he sold it, that he may return unto his possession. 28 But if he is not able to restore it to himself, then that which is sold shall remain in the hand of him that has bought it until the year of Jubilee, and in the Jubilee it shall be released, and he shall return unto his possession. 29 And if a man sells a dwelling house in a walled city, then he may redeem it within a whole year after it is sold, within a full year may he redeem it. 30 And if it is not redeemed within the space of a full year, then the house that is in the walled city shall be established forever to him that bought it throughout his generations, it shall not be released in the Jubilee. 31 But the houses of the villages which have no wall round about them shall be counted as the fields of the country, they may be redeemed, and they shall be released in the Jubilee. 32 Nevertheless the cities of the Levites, and the houses of the cities of their possession, may the Levites redeem at any time. 33 And if a man purchases a house from the Levites, then the house that was sold, and the city of his possession, shall be released in the year of Jubilee, for the houses of the cities of the Levites are their possession among the children of Israel. 34 But the field of the common lands of their cities may not be sold, for it is their perpetual possession. 35 And if your brother becomes poor, and falls into poverty among you, then you shall help him, yea, though he be a stranger, or a sojourner, that he may live with you. 36 Take you no interest from him, or profit, but fear your God, that your brother may live with you. 37 You shall not lend him your money at interest, nor lend him your food for profit. 38 I am the Lord your God, who brought you forth out of the land of Egypt, to give you the land of Canaan, and to be your God. 39 And if your brother that dwells by you becomes poor, and is sold unto you, you shall not compel him to serve as a slave. 40 But as a hired servant, and as a sojourner, he shall be with you, and shall serve you until the year of Jubilee. 41 And then shall he depart from you, both he and his children with him, and shall return unto his own family, and unto the possession of his fathers shall he return. 42 For they are my servants, whom I brought forth out of the land of Egypt, they shall not be sold as slaves. 43 You shall not rule over him with harshness, but shall fear your God. 44 Both your male and female slaves, whom you shall have, shall be of the nations that are round about you, of them shall you buy male and female slaves. 45 Also of the children of the strangers that do sojourn among you, of them shall you buy, and of their families that are with you, whom they begat in your land, and they shall be your possession. 46 And you shall take them as an inheritance for your children after you, to inherit them for a possession, they shall be your slaves forever. But over your brethren the children of Israel, you shall not rule one over another with harshness. 47 And if a sojourner or stranger becomes rich near you, and your brother that dwells near him becomes poor, and sells himself unto the stranger or sojourner near you, or to a member of the stranger's family, 48 After he is sold he may be redeemed again, one of his brethren may redeem him. 49 Either his uncle, or his uncle's son, may redeem him, or any that is near of kin unto him of his family may redeem him, or if he is able, he may redeem himself. 50 And he shall reckon with him that bought him from the year that he was sold to him unto the year of Jubilee, and the price of his release shall be according unto the number of years, according to the time of a hired servant shall it be with him. 51 If there be yet many years left, according unto them he shall give again the price of his redemption out of the money that he was bought for. 52 And if there remain but few years unto the year of Jubilee, then he shall count with him, and according unto his years shall he give him again the price of his redemption. 53 And as a yearly hired servant shall he be with him, and the other shall not rule with harshness over him in your sight. 54 And if he be not redeemed in these years, then he shall go out in the year of Jubilee, both he, and his children with him. 55 For unto me the children of Israel are servants, They are my servants whom I brought forth out of the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. Chapter 26. Requirements of obedience. 1. You shall make no idols nor graven images, neither raise you up a standing image, neither shall you set up any image of stone in your land, to bow down unto it, for I am the Lord your God. 2. You shall keep my Sabbaths, and reverence my sanctuary. I am the Lord. Conditions and results of obedience. 3. If you walk in my statutes, and keep my commandments, and do them, 4. Then I will give you rain in due season, and the land shall yield its increase, and the trees of the field shall yield their fruit. 5. And your threshing shall reach unto the vintage, and the vintage shall reach unto the sowing time, and you shall eat your bread to the full, and dwell in your land safely. 6. And I will give peace in the land, and you shall lie down, and none shall make you afraid, and I will rid evil animals out of the land, neither shall the sword go through your land. 7. And you shall chase your enemies, and they shall fall before you by the sword. 8. And 5 of you shall chase 100, and 100 of you shall put 10,000 to flight, and your enemies shall fall before you by the sword. 9. For I will have respect unto you, and make you fruitful, and multiply you, and establish my covenant with you. 10. And you shall eat the old harvest, and clear out the old because of the new. 11. And I will set my tabernacle among you, and my soul shall not abhor you. 12. And I will walk among you, and will be your God, and you shall be my people. 13. I am the Lord your God, who brought you forth out of the land of Egypt, that you should not be their slaves, and I have broken the bands of your yoke, and made you walk upright. Conditions and results of disobedience. 14. But if you will not hearken unto me, and will not do all these commandments, 15. And if you shall despise my statutes, or if your soul abhors my judgments, so that you will not do all my commandments, but that you break my covenant, 16. I also will do this unto you. I will even appoint over you terror, consumption, and the burning fever, that shall consume the eyes, and cause sorrow of heart. And you shall sow your seed in vain, for your enemies shall eat it. 17. And I will set my face against you, and you shall be slain before your enemies. They that hate you shall reign over you, and you shall flee when none pursues you. 18. And if you will not yet for all this hearken unto me, then I will punish you 7 times more for your sins. 19. And I will break the pride of your power, and I will make your heavens as iron, and your earth as bronze. 20. And your strength shall be spent in vain, for your land shall not yield its increase, neither shall the trees of the land yield their fruits. 21. And if you walk contrary unto me, and will not hearken unto me, I will bring 7 times more plagues upon you according to your sins. 22. I will also send wild animals among you, which shall rob you of your children, and destroy your cattle, and make you few in number, and your highways shall be desolate. 23. And if you will not be reformed by me by these things, but will walk contrary unto me, 24. Then will I also walk contrary unto you, and will punish you yet 7 times for your sins. 25. And I will bring a sword upon you, that shall bring the vengeance of my covenant. And when you are gathered together within your cities, I will send the pestilence among you, and you shall be delivered into the hand of the enemy. 26. And when I have broken the supply of your bread, 10 women shall bake your bread in one oven, and they shall deliver you your bread again by weight, and you shall eat, and not be satisfied. 27. And if you will not for all this hearken unto me, but walk contrary unto me, 28. Then I will walk contrary unto you also in fury, and I, even I, will chastise you 7 times for your sins. 29. And you shall eat the flesh of your sons, and the flesh of your daughters shall you eat. 30. And I will destroy your high places, and cut down your images, and cast your carcasses upon the carcasses of your idols, and my soul shall abhor you. 31. And I will make your cities waste, and bring your sanctuaries unto desolation, and I will not smell the aroma of your sweet odors. 32. And I will bring the land into desolation, and your enemies who dwell therein shall be astonished at it. 33. And I will scatter you among the nations, and will draw out a sword after you, and your land shall be desolate, and your cities waste. 34. Then shall the land enjoy its Sabbaths, as long as it lies desolate, and you be in your enemy's land, even then shall the land rest, and enjoy its Sabbaths. 35 As long as it lies desolate it shall rest, because it did not rest in your Sabbaths, when you dwelt upon it. 36 And upon them that are left alive of you I will send a faintness into their hearts in the lands of their enemies, and the sound of a shaken leaf shall chase them, and they shall flee, as fleeing from a sword, and they shall fall when none pursues. 37 And they shall fall one upon another, as it were before a sword, when none pursues, and you shall have no power to stand before your enemies. 38 And you shall perish among the nations, and the land of your enemies shall eat you up. 39 And they that are left of you shall pine away in their iniquity in your enemies' lands, and also in the iniquities of their fathers shall they pine away with them. Promise of restoration. 40 If they shall confess their iniquity, and the iniquity of their fathers, with their trespass which they trespassed against me, and that also they have walked contrary unto me. 41 And that I also have walked contrary unto them, and have brought them into the land of their enemies. If then their uncircumcised hearts be humbled, and they then accept the punishment of their iniquity. 42 Then will I remember my covenant with Jacob, and also my covenant with Isaac, and also my covenant with Abraham will I remember. And I will remember the land. 43 The land also shall be left by them, and shall enjoy its Sabbaths, while it lies desolate without them. And they shall accept the punishment of their iniquity, even because they despised my judgments, and because their soul abhorred my statutes. 44 And yet for all that, when they are in the land of their enemies, I will not cast them away, neither will I abhor them, to destroy them utterly, and to break my covenant with them, for I am the Lord their God. 45 But I will for their sakes remember the covenant of their ancestors, whom I brought forth out of the land of Egypt in the sight of the nations, that I might be their God. I am the Lord. 46 These are the statutes and judgments and laws, which the Lord made between himself and the children of Israel on Mount Sinai by the hand of Moses. Chapter 27. Consecration of persons. 1 And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, To speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When a man shall make a special vow of persons to the Lord at your valuation, 3 Then your valuation shall be for the male from 20 years old even unto 60 years old, even your valuation shall be 50 shekels of silver, after the shekel of the sanctuary. 4 And if it be a female, then your valuation shall be 30 shekels. 5 And if it be from 5 years old even unto 20 years old, then your valuation shall be for the male 20 shekels, and for the female 10 shekels. 6 And if it be from a month old even unto 5 years old, then your valuation shall be for the male 5 shekels of silver, and for the female your valuation shall be 3 shekels of silver. 7 And if it be from 60 years old and above, if it be a male, then your valuation shall be 15 shekels, and for the female 10 shekels. 8 But if he is too poor to pay your valuation, then he shall present himself before the priest, and the priest shall value him, according to his ability that vowed shall the priest value him. Consecration of beasts. 9 And if it be an animal, of which men bring an offering unto the Lord, all that any man gives of such unto the Lord shall be holy. 10 He shall not alter it, nor change it, a good for a bad, or a bad for a good, and if he shall at all change animal for animal, then it and the exchange thereof shall be holy. 11 And if it be any unclean animal, of which they do not offer a sacrifice unto the Lord, then he shall present the animal before the priest. 12 And the priest shall value it, whether it be good or bad. As you value it, who are the priest, so shall it be. 13 But if he will at all redeem it, then he shall add a 5th part thereof unto your valuation. Consecration of houses. 14 And when a man shall dedicate his house to be holy unto the Lord, then the priest shall value it, whether it be good or bad. As the priest shall value it, so shall it stand. 15 And if he that dedicates it will redeem his house, then he shall add the 5th part of the money of your valuation unto it, and it shall be his. Consecration of fields. 16 And if a man shall dedicate unto the Lord some part of a field of his possession, then your valuation shall be according to the seed from it, a homer of barley seed shall be valued at 50 shekels of silver. 17 If he dedicates his field from the year of Jubilee, according to your valuation it shall stand. 18 But if he dedicates his field after the Jubilee, then the priest shall reckon unto him the money due according to the years that remain, even unto the year of the Jubilee, and it shall be deducted from your valuation. 19 And if he that dedicates the field will at any time redeem it, then he shall add the fifth part of the money of your valuation unto it, and it shall belong to him. 20 And if he will not redeem the field, or if he has sold the field to another man, it shall not be redeemed any more. 21 But the field, when it goes out in the Jubilee, shall be holy unto the Lord, as a field devoted, the possession thereof shall be the priest's. 22 And if a man dedicates unto the Lord a field which he has bought, which is not of the fields of his possession, 23 Then the priest shall reckon unto him the worth of your valuation, even up to the year of the Jubilee, and he shall give your valuation in that day, as a holy thing unto the Lord. 24 In the year of the Jubilee the field shall return unto him of whom it was bought, even to him to whom the possession of the land did belong. 25 And all your valuations shall be according to the shekel of the sanctuary, 20 gerahs shall be the shekel. Firstborn beasts. 26 Only the firstling of the animals, which should be the Lord's firstling, no man may dedicate it, whether it be ox, or sheep, it is the Lord's. 27 And if it be of an unclean animal, then he shall redeem it according to your valuation, and shall add a fifth part to it, or if it be not redeemed, then it shall be sold according to your valuation. Devoted things. 28 Nevertheless no devoted thing, that a man shall devote unto the Lord of all that he has, both of man and animal, and of the field of his possession, shall be sold or redeemed. Every devoted thing is most holy unto the Lord. 29 No one devoted to destruction, who shall be devoted among men, shall be redeemed, but shall surely be put to death. Tithes. 30 And all the tithe of the land, whether of the seed of the land, or of the fruit of the tree, is the Lord's, it is holy unto the Lord. 31 And if a man will at all redeem any of his tithes, he shall add to it the fifth part thereof. 32 And concerning the tithe of the herd, or of the flock, even of whatsoever passes under the rod, the tenth shall be holy unto the Lord. 33 He shall not search whether it be good or bad, neither shall he change it, and if he changes it at all, then both it and the change thereof shall be holy, it shall not be redeemed. The conclusion of Leviticus. 34 These are the commandments, which the Lord commanded Moses for the children of Israel on Mount Sinai.